Biden is clapping at anti-school mass governors. Biden, I'm directing the Secretary of Education and educator himself to take additional steps to protect our children, Jack. This includes using all of his oversight authorities and legal action, if appropriate, against governors trying to block and intimidate local school officials. Damn. Let's watch the,
This video, taken Sunday, shows Taliban fighters inside Afghanistan's presidential palace. It came as the group took control of Kabul, the Afghan capital, and followed the Taliban.
Let's watch the Wall Street Journal do a quick refresher, but is there TOS in this, I wonder? I'm pre-scanning real quick. Why do Afghans have the dopest clothes and outfits? Dude, I don't know. Because they're fucking fly, dude. That's why. They're pretty fly for a white guy.
This video, taken Sunday, shows Taliban fighters inside Afghanistan's presidential palace. It
No,
came
I'm
as
not
the
gonna
group took
be.
control.
I'm not gonna be watching the other Adam Curtis documentary because it's like fucking 3 hours long, and not only is it 3 hours long, but it's significantly more bloody. Even though I love it, but I won't be able to watch that.
Of Kabul, the Afghan capital, and followed the Taliban's swift seizure of most of the country. It's an outcome U.S. intelligence officials estimated could happen 6 months after the U.S. finished withdrawing its troops from the country. Instead, it took just over a week.
Of the presidential palace.
The truth is, this did unfold more quickly than we had anticipated.
So how did Afghanistan get here? It's a years-long story, but let's look at the 9 days leading up to Kabul's capture, the ones that sealed the Taliban's takeover. On August 6th, after months of expansion throughout Afghanistan's countryside, the Taliban seized the capital of a province along the Iranian and Pakistani borders. It was the first of the country's 34 provincial capitals to fall, an indication of what was to come.
Afghanistan is now at a dangerous turning point. Ahead lies either a genuine peace negotiation or a tragically intertwined set of crises.
The seizure of the city happened quickly, and a resident told the Wall Street Journal at the time it had been taken without much of a fight. In the neighboring Helmand province, Afghan and U.S. airstrikes sought to blunt the Taliban's advances and hold control over key cities. But the Taliban's takeover continued. It claimed 4 more provincial capitals over the next 2 days. On August 8th, it seized the strategic hub of Kunduz, all but eliminating the government's presence in large swaths of the country's north. Videos released by the Taliban showed fighters inside the city's government buildings. The pace of the group's expansion concerned Afghan and Western officials, who said without a forceful international response, the total collapse of the Afghan government could happen this fall, earlier than initially warned. Meanwhile, citizens from Kunduz and other provinces claimed by the Taliban began fleeing, seeking safety in the nation's capital, Kabul. Then, on August 10th, President Biden defended his decision to pull U.S. forces out of the country, saying Afghan forces were trained and equipped to fight.
They've got to fight for themselves, fight for their nation.
But by August 13th, the Afghan government had lost about half of the country's provincial capitals, including its second and third largest cities, Kandahar and Herat. After 20 years of war, much of what the U.S. sought to accomplish in Afghanistan crumbled in just 1 week, and many of the cities were taken without a fight, with Afghan soldiers surrendering to the Taliban, taking advantage of the group's promises of amnesty. Focus then turned to Kabul as the U.S. began deploying thousands of troops to the city for a diplomatic evacuation. Then, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani addressed the nation for the first time since the Taliban's takeover of the provincial capitals began, saying his priority was to remobilize Afghan security forces and defend Kabul.
بوسنی وضعیت که د امنیتي او دفاعي قواو بیا انسجام زموږ لومړی توپ دی او په دې هکله جدي اقدامات تر لاس لاندې دي.
But the next day, on August 15th, Taliban fighters seized Kabul and President Ghani fled abroad, leaving the government in collapse. And by that evening, insurgents took the palace, where they were filmed removing the Afghan flag. With Kabul's capture, 9 days after the first provincial capital fell, the Taliban looked to have control over nearly all of Afghanistan. As the Taliban moved on Kabul, U.S. troops airlifted Western diplomats and civilians from the U.S. embassy to the military side of Kabul's airport. It's a scene that drew comparisons to the rushed exit from the U.S. embassy in Vietnam in 1975, a parallel Secretary of State Antony Blinken rejected on CNN.
This is not Saigon. We went to Afghanistan 20 years ago with one mission.
Yes, and Vietnam only was 19 years. And also, the Southern Vietnamese were able to maintain control of South Vietnam for 2 extra years. Whereas Afghanistan fell to the hands of Taliban, under our watch, of course, under 72 hours. So that last year was a big deal, I think. And people need to remember that. 1 extra year, 72 hours.
And that mission was to deal with the folks who attacked us on 9/11. And we have succeeded in that mission.
By the next day, thousands of Afghans flocked to Kabul's international airport looking to escape. The airport then became the center of the chaos in the capital as people were seen clinging to a U.S. Air Force plane leaving the city. And
So, for the record, the difference with, like, Afghanistan is that there was no draft. It's a volunteer army, and we can do more with less. That's the difference. Like, there's less people. It's far away. It doesn't have any sort of, like, serious impact on most people's lives. The media stopped covering all of the worst parts of this ongoing conflict. They were never critical of it to begin with. They were rarely ever critical of it. I mean, think about it. So many of you probably only recently found out about the Afghanistan papers, right? That was incredibly important leaked documents. That's incredibly important coverage. Like, the media didn't even fucking hold Joe Biden to account when Afghanistan policy was at the forefront of the conversation during the election cycle. That's it. That's precisely the fucking reason. The media is never, ever impartial, of course. They are imperial. Afghanistan Papers is a Washington Post report similar to the Pentagon Papers in Vietnam that talks about how much of a fucking disastrous failure it was that military high command and generals personally fucking knew that all of our efforts in, like, training the Afghan security forces were just completely bullshit. It was not working. They were killing U.S. troops when they turned their backs on them. And that it was just absolutely fucking a pathetic display. And it was just a waste of money. You know what I mean?
Taliban gunmen roamed the streets outside. At least 8 Afghans were killed on Monday at the airport. Amid the violence, President Biden addressed the U.S., again defending his decision to pull U.S. troops out of Afghanistan.
If anything, the developments of the past week reinforced that ending U.S. military involvement in Afghanistan now was the right decision.
For now, however, Biden has authorized a temporary deployment of troops to the country to secure the airport and help Afghan allies evacuate. The Taliban, meanwhile, saw the first challenge to its rule, as hundreds of Afghans...
Holy shit, how the Taliban expanded Afghanistan during America's longest war. What the fuck? Why is Wall Street Journal spitting right now? I mean, this might have a lot of TOS actually, but hold on. Doing a quick scan on this. Bruva RXX, thank you for the 5 get the subs, my friend. A lot of pre-scans happening today. Pre-watch, GG, yeah. You know it, baby. I have to ensure that. It is rather surprising when I see Wall Street Journal of all outlets like offer like straightforward cover. I mean, I'm sure this won't be straightforward. All right, let's see.
May 1st, 2003. The U.S.
I mean, first of all, they're starting at 2003. When they're talking about like the Taliban's expansion in Afghanistan, you can't start off on 2003. You know what I mean? There's like 30 prior years of shit that's popping off before we get there.
U.S. declares victory in Afghanistan.
The bulk of this country today is permissive. It's
Donald Rumsfeld, I'm sorry for pausing so much, but when he fucking declared victory, the Afghanistan papers ironically showed, okay, that he was openly stating that he did not know who the enemy targets were, that there were no good visible enemy targets. 2 years in, literally as he was saying this on camera, behind the scenes, he was talking to other commanders like, I don't know who the fuck we're killing in Iraq and Afghanistan.
secure.
The Taliban had been toppled only months after 9/11, and there were some 13,000 NATO troops in the country. Fast forward nearly 20 years. American soldiers have left, the Taliban have come back, and the United Nations says civilian deaths of women and children in Afghanistan have hit record levels. While it's difficult to map exactly how much territory the group actually controls, limited data suggests it's more than half of the country, with the insurgents claiming authority over major border crossings and infrastructure.
Many people, both inside and outside the country, have been surprised by the speed and the scale of the Taliban's advances and by how fragile the Afghan government's authority is looking.
It's time to end America's longest war. It's time for American troops to come home.
Before Biden ordered America's troops to leave, the U.S. had been trying to exit for a while.
And by the end of next year, our war in Afghanistan will be over.
The Taliban victories meant that U.S. soldiers remained in the country much longer than intended.
And now the foreign troops have gone and the Taliban is steadily taking over large parts of the country.
Here's how the insurgent group has expanded to become stronger than it's been in 20 years, creating the conditions for potential chaos as U.S. troops leave behind a country on the brink of civil war. At the beginning of the war, America's campaign in Afghanistan reached some milestones in just a few months.
When the US-led coalition invaded Afghanistan, the Taliban had controlled the country for 5 years after taking power following an extremely violent civil war. They had imposed strict Islamic rule on Afghanistan. All that changed after 9/11, when President Bush set out to punish the group for harboring al-Qaeda terrorists.
The United States military has begun strikes against al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
Bush deployed some 2,500 U.S. troops into the country, causing the Taliban to abandon Kabul and soon thereafter Kandahar, their main stronghold.
The Taliban were a broken force at that time. They gave up barely without a fight and melded back into...
They literally also said that they'd be willing to give Osama bin Laden up to a neutral third-party country and conduct an investigation. And George W. Bush literally was like, no, we're not fucking doing that. We're bombing you. They asked for the bombing campaign to stop. And he said, we will not negotiate with terrorists.
To society and retreated into villages.
I think it was like 3 days after 9/11 that you had CIA unironically coming into the country with pallets, millions of dollars of cash, so that they could fucking start, you know, pumping money into the Northern Alliance and any like tribal Northern Alliance and any sort of like tribes that were against the Taliban and against Al Qaeda to go in and fucking, you know, turn the other way when Americans inevitably come in.
Some Taliban commanders actually offered to surrender in return for amnesty, but the US declined that offer and wanted to keep fighting them.
Oh shit, never mind. They actually did mention that. What the fuck?
Some Taliban commanders actually offered to surrender in return for amnesty.
That is, what the fuck? This is like actually crazy that they're mentioning this. I'm surprised.
But the US declined that offer and wanted to keep fighting them. They wanted to stamp out every last terrorist from Afghanistan. Instead, the Taliban regrouped in Pakistan, where they received shelter and support with the aim of returning later.
The Taliban began their
The Taliban request was a flat-out stall tactic. They had no intention of actually turning over bin Laden. Their proposal was never going to be agreed to because it's so laughably bad. Okay, take a fucking week off from bombing Afghan targets then. Like, is that so hard? Like, delay boots on the ground military warfare by a week. We were there for 20 years, dude. I think they could have stalled for 1 week then and then continue the bombing campaign. But no. No, of course not. Which third-party country they were going to give him to? Pakistan? He was already fucking there at the time of his take. Wait, did they say that they were going to give him to Pakistan? The point is they were not down to negotiate at all. That's the point. So what the fuck are you saying? And also, what do you mean, what third-party Pakistan? What, you think we're not in alliance with Pakistan? Are you fucking stupid? Oh, yeah, suspiciously, they found where Osama bin Laden was. Oh, magically. Yeah, because I too watched Zero Dark 30 and got all my information from that one movie that came out like a week after fucking, or whatever, immediately after Osama bin Laden was executed. Come on, dude. Bro, they literally, dude, Osama bin Laden was hiding, jerking off the hentai, and playing like Nintendo 64 Super Smash in a fucking compound that was down the street from Pakistan's West Point Academy, okay? What the fuck do you mean? Like, what? Oh, we just had no idea, bro. That's crazy. Damn, bro, that's wild. We should probably keep occupying Afghanistan. Which we did. We literally did. We murdered, executed Osama bin Laden, okay? Allegedly. I talked to Brace for too long today. Okay, we allegedly murdered Osama bin Laden, okay? And then we still kept occupying Afghanistan, so what's up?
their resurgence, and by the middle of the decade, they had launched hundreds of suicide attacks and thousands of bombings, killing hundreds of U.S. soldiers. So to counter their renewed presence, Obama began deploying more forces in the region.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda.
May 1st, 2011, Osama bin Laden, the man held responsible.
ISI owns Pakistan more than the Pakistani government, so unless U.S. was communicating with ISI, your take makes no sense. ISI could have hidden Osama until the end of time. Wow. It's awfully strange that the ISI, which definitely doesn't communicate with the U.S. intelligence at all, even though there are fucking regional allies, was not able to fucking hide Osama bin Laden magically. They were just like unable to simply hide Osama bin Laden anymore. That's so crazy. You know, next to the fucking West Point.
Responsible for the 9/11 attacks was killed. And around that period, the number of U.S. troops in Afghanistan hit a peak of around 100,000. The policymakers and experts began to question the effectiveness of that large military presence.
What became clear was that the
my, can't read my, no you can't read my poker face.
There is 0% chance this is actually Osama bin Laden.
Can't read my, no you can't read my poker face. Can't read my, no you can't read my poker face. Poker face, mama, poker face. Mama, poker face, mama, poker face.
There is no shot that this is actually him. There is absolutely no fucking shot, dude. Obama and Biden, Osama bin Laden, coincidence? Oh no, you're right, brother.
Mama, poker face, mama, poker face. Right there in this place. Hold them, let them hit me, baby, play with me. We should play it cause it's a pistol stuff. After he's been hooked, I'll play the one that's on his heart.
I don't believe that. I literally do not believe that this is him. It's funny, but it's not fucking real. Even though it wouldn't be surprising. What's surprising is that this would ever be on fucking video. But it's not surprising that he was like a fan of modern media. I mean, we know that he was. Dude, he's like a rich fucking developer's son. Like, yeah, see, Snopes. Osama bin Laden wasn't exactly known for having an affinity for... Okay, this is wrong. What? He literally was known for having an affinity for popular culture, dude. We saw the recovered documents on his hard drive. It's like for all to see. Come on, Snopes. I mean, I believe that it is false. It does make sense. But, like, if you look at the fucking compound belongings, like, there was, like, insane shit in there, dude. Yeah, he played video games, dude. CIA released files in the 2011 raid that showed Al-Qaeda had downloads of popular games like Half-Life, Super Mario Bros., Yoshi's Island, Final Fantasy VII, Dragon Ball Z, and Counter-Strike. Motherfucker was like... He loved it when the terrorists won. You know what I mean? There was pornography. He had a large pornography collection. There was like literally fucking hentai in there, I think. Disney films, Ants, Cars, Chicken Little, Ice Age, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Documentaries about himself, libraries full of conspiracy theories. He had Noam Chomsky books. Like, so this notion that like he wasn't fucking knowledgeable of or even like cared about or enjoyed like Western media or consumed any of that is fucking completely false.
The US counterinsurgency strategy did not eradicate the Taliban. In fact, some of the more controversial tactics that the US used in Afghanistan, such as night raids and arbitrary detentions and airstrikes that sometimes killed civilians, created discontent in local...
They're holding up images of... Sorry, they're holding up images of like people, so I don't want to show that part.
And actually help the Taliban.
This is pretty funny though. They are another reason why the Taliban are so similar to fucking... Well, these aren't Taliban. I think these are just like regular Afghanis who are fucking showing ahead of Obama. But the Tea Party did that too. Bin Laden cared a lot about ethics in video games journalists.
and
wait.
recruit more fighters.
The Taliban's recruitment
This is actually important. Remember this part
counterinsurgency
again.
strategy did not eradicate
100,000.
So U.S. invasion.
Policymakers and experts began.
So Wall Street Journal is basically saying exactly what I just said, which is that the U.S. invasion created ripe ground for the Taliban to recruit more people.
Began to question the effectiveness of that large military presence.
What became clear was that the US counterinsurgency strategy did not eradicate the Taliban. In fact, some of the more controversial tactics that the US used in Afghanistan, such as night raids and arbitrary detentions and airstrikes that sometimes kill civilians.
That's like straight up JSOC, by the way. Everything that our special forces did in Afghanistan was a gift. Was an absolute fucking gift to the Taliban. Like everything.
Civilians created discontent in local communities and actually helped the Taliban recruit more fighters.
The Taliban's recruitment drive enabled them to increase in numbers and gain control of yet more territory, launching near-daily attacks against the US and Afghan forces. So with bin Laden dead and facing mounting pressure from Democratic lawmakers in Congress, Obama announced his plan to withdraw some 33,000 troops from the region and transfer power to the Afghan military.
Our mission will change from combat to support. By 2014, this process of transition will be complete, and the Afghan people will be responsible for their own security.
That plan didn't work as intended. The Afghan security forces were plagued by problems that continue to haunt them, such as corruption, which made them an ineffective fighting force against the Taliban, who continued to fight, allegedly armed and funded by Pakistan.
The Afghan government has acknowledged problems with effectiveness and corruption among its security forces, but told the Journal that corruption is decreasing. And Pakistan's government has denied backing the Taliban, but says it has some limited influence over the group.
Yeah, totally. Just like I'm not getting the backing of Big Jeff Bezos when I run the ad at the top of the fucking hour. Every hour when there's a 60-second ad break at the top, you know? But then tell you that you can avoid those ads by subscribing, whether for $5 or for free if you have a Twitch Prime. You can subscribe and avoid said ad breaks. You know, that is a thing you can do. Also, you can use an ad block or a VPN, but Twitch Prime is free. If you have an Amazon Prime, that is. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
This map shows just.
Do you think Osama believed the conspiracy that Bush did 9/11? Yeah, dude.
How much territory the Taliban had taken over in 2017.
The Taliban's gradual advances across the country really began alarming people in the capital.
After NATO announced the end of its combat mission, the Taliban scored symbolic victories such as capturing the city of Kunduz. While mapping the Taliban's exact presence has been tricky in such a fluid situation, some analysts have drawn maps based on news reports and social media that outline the group's territorial control from 2017. At the time, the Afghan military was already struggling to hold the Taliban back, and Trump announced he was sending more troops.
The security threats we face in Afghanistan and the broader region are immense.
Why did Pakistan support Taliban? Dude, their fucking Taliban is like they're people. Like, I don't know how to describe it. They're Pashtun. They're like, a lot of the Taliban fighters are literally fucking from the same tribes that are Pakistani tribes as well. It was also the Wahhabist influence within Pakistan. Like, the Taliban is also active within Pakistan as well. Some Pakistanis will unironically say, like, oh, well, the support for the Taliban by the ISI was actually done because they wanted to you know, defend their own internal security. I don't know how true that is, but But yeah, there's a lot of border crossings between Pakistan and Afghanistan. And a lot of the Taliban get indoctrinated and radicalized by Wahhabi madrasas within the Pakistani borders.
President Trump's announcement fueled the will to fight among some fighters. I remember speaking to young Taliban fighters who said that they had actually considered giving up the war once the American troops left. But once President Trump said he was going to send more troops, they said there was no way they were going to give up the fight.
Around 4 years later, on July 4th, 2021, U.S. troops finally left Bagram, their main base of operations in the country. Meanwhile, the Taliban's expansion accelerated.
We cannot continue the cycle of extending or expanding our military presence in Afghanistan.
As foreign troops pulled out, insurgents took many districts without having to fight. The group has been trying to show a friendlier face, posting propaganda videos purporting to show Taliban fighters shaking hands with Afghan soldiers or guarding borders.
This is like a bit of a Western-centric approach, by the way, to this, saying like this is Taliban propaganda, because it like wholeheartedly fails to comprehend like how people in that region, like in the indigenous population of Afghanistan, view these sorts of ethnic strifes and these sorts of never-ending conflicts. The reason why they were like, no, it is actual reality. No, like the reason why they were fucking buddies is because there are a lot of warring tribes in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a incredibly diverse country of 40 million people that have literally fucking villagers murdering one another in perpetuity. Okay? So all they know is fucking warring with one another and then shaking hands and then getting together and collaborating once again. Do you know what you're talking about? No, like this is how. I mean, they're fucking. A lot of these dudes are tribal, man. Like it's just different. Like I don't know how else to describe it. My man just what? Why are you guys saying no mega lol? Oh, do you know what you're talking about? Oh, that's why. I'm gonna watch the George Stephanopoulos thing in a second.
Hands with Afghan soldiers or guarding borders without disrupting trade. The Afghan government didn't respond to a request for comment on these images. Analysts say it's part of a campaign to legitimize the insurgency amid negotiations with the Afghan government. While the Biden administration says America's military campaign has accomplished its objectives, U.S. airstrikes against the Taliban.
It's literally the biggest copium to be like, oh, dude, no, we totally won, dude. That's what we were trying to do, and we did it. Like, no.
Are expected to continue. And America plans to keep monitoring terrorist threats. People in Afghanistan question what the Taliban's plans are and whether they can coexist with the Afghan government.
The Taliban's gains raise two main risks for Afghanistan. One, that the country might split, possibly along sectarian lines, which could throw the country into another bloody civil war. Or that a fundamentalist Islamist group takes power in Afghanistan again, which would undermine the whole purpose of the war, which was to eradicate terrorism risks from the country.
To say we won is a massive overstatement, but saying it's a complete failure. No, it's either W or an L, depending on how you look at it, depending on what you admit the American war machine's ultimate goals were.
Ben,
if you understand that the American war machine's ultimate goals were to fucking draw out this conflict over the course of like 20 fucking years as you lay down fat contracts for defense contractors while trying to set up like regional operations that self-fund by dark money opium trade and simultaneously create instability in the region, have bases of operation that you can fucking move around, you sell a lot of fucking guns and sell a lot of small arms, sell a lot of fucking weapons. if that was the goal, then yes, it's a massive W. But that is the goal. That is the real goal of American imperialism. But if the goal ultimately was to like do whatever the fucking propaganda outlets were stating, like maintain regional stability, do democracy building in Afghanistan, build a robust military force for the Afghan government so that they can have autonomy, and also eradicate the Taliban for their crime of harboring Al-Qaeda and harboring Osama bin Laden, then no, none of those goals were achieved. Taliban is stronger than ever before. They have literally gotten the country a gift wrap by the United States government. So now it's their country, okay, and it's their government. They also had a puppet state installed that was not popular, and they didn't do shit. Like they personally they didn't accomplish any of those goals. Like there's no fucking democratic process at all. So, you know, it didn't fucking work at all. And for people saying goal was to eliminate Al-Qaeda initially, yeah, except we literally give Al-Qaeda our weapons right now. The weapons that we have, that we sell to Saudi Arabia, makes their way into the hands of Al-Qaeda insurgents in their ongoing genocide in Yemen. You understand that, right? So, you know, if our goal was to stop Al-Qaeda in its fucking tracks, then we didn't do that either. Obviously, they're not as powerful as they once were, but other terror cells took their place regardless. Why would we give them weapons? Because that's all we do, man. That's all we fucking do. All we do is give people weapons, and then we have to fight them. You know, oopsie, gotta go to war. Yeah, all you need to know about this conflict is that the U.S. knew almost immediately that Saudi Arabia funded 9/11, and we proceeded to ignore that information because it was politically inconvenient. Like, David Frum, who was a speechwriter for George W. Bush at the time, who now fucking is considered like a never Trump Republican, so he gets a lot of praise even though he should be in jail. David Frum famously wrote the Axis of Evil speech. He coined the term Axis of Evil. And in that conversation, and this was the post 9/11 speech that George W. Bush delivered, right? He mentioned the Axis of Evil, which featured Iran. And at the time, Iranians were like, what the fuck? What do you mean? What? Like, it featured Iraq for no reason. It featured Iran. It did not feature Saudi Arabia. And it literally featured Iran, which was already a natural enemy to Al-Qaeda in the region, and continued to fight Al-Qaeda in the region, and actually ISIS as well. To be fair, at the time, Iraq was under Saddam's rule. So what? So the fuck what? You are demonstrating how simplified and how incorrect your point of view is if you think Iran and Iraq should be featured in the same fucking conversation as allies, dude. That's it. That's like you've already shown that you have no fucking idea what's going on when you talk about Iran and also Iraq on the same team. Chatters don't know the difference between Shia and Sunni Islam. No. You realize that Saudi is in war with Yemen, right? I do. It's called a genocide. And I do realize it. Our weapons blow up fucking school buses and shit there regularly, and there's no coverage on it.
Thank you for joining us, and happy to see that you're back in the United States safely. I understand that you were in Kandahar in southern Afghanistan. that you were able to leave with the Afghan military as they were throwing down their weapons effectively on a cargo plane out of the city. What was that like?
So in the end, our experience in Kandahar was a problem because we got caught there. We got stranded. When we flew in on a commercial flight, the expectation...
Bro, Iraq have like 60% majority Shia. First of all, Iraq at the time was literally fucking led by Saddam. Are you insane? Iran and Iraq were not fucking allies, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of the point, dude.
...was it'd take a few weeks, even when the fighting started to really get serious, we'd be able to kind of get out.
I'm not trying to argue, man. I never said they were allies, and I get what you're saying, but you don't also seem to demonstrate a great understanding by saying Saddam in power, so what? Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, of course I'm going to say Saddam was in power, so what? What, you think there was a fucking reason for invading Iraq? Are you delusional? Are you one of like the fucking 10 Americans remaining that still thinks that the Iraq war was a justifiable one? Are you out of your fucking mind? What the fuck did they have to do with 9/11? Literally nothing. I don't think Iraq is majority Shia, by the way, but there is a massive Shia population there, which is literally the reason why Iran is very interested in Iraq as well. But they were never allies, and they are not allies. They've been in conflict forever. I want to hear from that guy who said like Saddam was in Iraq. Like, I want to understand like what the reasoning for that is. Iraq is Sunni majority. That's why ISIS had so many recruits against the Shia minority government we installed. Yeah, the majority of the population in Iraq is Shia Arabs, Sunni Arabs following close behind alongside Kurds, 3 million Turkmen, and 0.5, like 500,000 Assyrians and Armenians, 1 million Afro-Iraqis, 500,000 Yazidis, and 250,000 Shabaks in Iraq. 40 million population. Most of the population at the 15 million is Shia Arabs now. Anyway, let's keep going.
What we didn't expect and we didn't foresee was that these soldiers would just so quickly give up the city. When it did happen, the airlines all shut down flights. The UN evacuation flights also shut down. Everything was shutting down. And when that was happening, we started to kind of worry what we were going to do. By the end, we found ourselves with one of the most elite units in the country called the 03 unit. They are CIA trained, American funded. These guys spent 20 years becoming the
Okay, dude. Vice is literally fucking CIA. I'm sorry. Like, dog, really? Really? I mean, Brace, I'm fucking, fuck it, dude. I'm leaking it. Brace and I talked about this as well. Because he's saying a fact? I mean, dude, literally just Google 03 unit, dude. Just fucking Google it, like I just did. Just Google it, dude. Abusive night raids by CIA-backed Afghan strike forces. Human Rights Watch. Like, come on, dude. You're, wait, maybe he'll mention it.
go-to military force that America relies upon in their stead. The U.S. never lets access to them, but in this case, it was so desperate that we just kind of found ourselves with them and protected with them. They were the ones preparing for what was going to be the last stand against the Taliban. They set up a front position right next to the airport, surrounded the area, kind of made a perimeter, and they said, this is it, we only have about 1,000 soldiers. The Taliban probably has a couple thousand, but we're going to fight all night. We're going to do everything we can. And we were getting ready for what was going to be one of the most harrowing, hairy nights of our lives. And just when the sun was...
Reading headlines, the best way to get the full story. I mean, dude, I do know more of the story. Do you want to fucking read the harrowing details of the 03 unit's fucking war crimes from the Human Rights Watch? I mean, if you're fucking talking 02 units without mentioning like the CIA training that they got and the actions that they engaged in, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Podcast is called Fear and Malding, by the way. It was Afghanistan's CIA strike force.
Was about to go down. They announced that they had come to a truce, and the military commanders up top and the higher up in the military had decided to stand down, have their soldiers put down their weapons, give up all of their heavy gear, their Humvees, their artillery, all of their bigger weapons. They literally just left the cars running and went to the airfield, and the Taliban agreed to give a truce and let these planes fly in and fly everyone out. So in the middle of the night, at about 2 a.m., 6 carrier planes were filled with just hundreds of military soldiers each. It was just a really intense scene of hundreds of people kind of packing in and trying to climb onto these. You see them now happening in Kabul, but then it was surprising to see these military units, basically like fighting for their lives to get out of there. And it was a really harrowing scene. Seeing in the distance, we could see the shots in the air of tracers, which were the Taliban shooting in the air and celebrating. And we could get the sense that, this was a bittersweet moment, because although they didn't have to fight and lose their lives, this was how the war was kind of faring for them, which is they were losing.
I think the story that people in Washington might be trying to tell is that the Afghan military forces had the resources they need, they just lacked the will to fight. From what you've seen and how it went down, what do you make of that?
I think it's an oversimplification. And we spent a lot of time on the front line with the fighters in Kandahar, and they were exhausted. So they were outgunned, they were underfed, they were undersupplied, and they just were exhausted by it all. So this idea that they didn't have the gumption, they didn't have the ability or the will to get into the fight, it's not true. And it's disrespectful of these people that were really fighting. And when the dominoes started falling, these people were all handing it over. The bigger reality is the soldiers that did want to fight didn't have the support. Thousands of Taliban guys compared to just a few hundred willing soldiers is not a fair fight.
I'm wondering what you're hearing about people on the ground that you have been in contact with who might be trying to get out, who are fearful of what a Taliban regime might entail in the near and the future, and what's going on.
Yeah, people that keep saying the Afghans were just not interested in fighting kind of missed the story. They were fighting. They were just fighting on the other side. They were not fighting with you. They were fighting against you. And that's precisely why we left. They fought for 20 fucking years, against an occupying force. I think most Pashtuns in Afghanistan don't necessarily support the ideologies of the Taliban, which are composed of mostly Pashtun, but if it means ethnic tribal dominance in Afghanistan, they're willing to take it.
It's the biggest problem right now is that the people that are trying to get out, it's not specific to people that work with the military or people that were interpreters. It's not just any one subset. It's everyone. Everyone in the country is looking for a way out, some way or another. I'm getting calls from high military officials asking if I know anybody that they can talk to.
They're calling you?
They're calling me, asking if I have some contacts at some embassy or something that they don't know about. I'm getting calls from all of the people we worked with looking for any way out. And there's really no answer. So now we're living in this world where there's not a real thought going into what's going to happen with the Afghan people.
Well, thank you, Ben. Glad to see you're back safe. And there's so much more to talk about and to see from your reporting. So thanks.
I love that someone in the chat said everyone's trying to get out, including the Taliban. Why the fuck would the Taliban try to get out, dude? They run the country now. Why would they finally want to leave the country when they've accomplished their goal? After 20 fucking years of fighting for it and dying for it, they achieved it.
One of the most closely guarded secrets of the Cold War was America's role in supporting Afghan warlords known as the Mujahideen. The official story is that America backed these fundamentalists in response to the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in December 1979. But that's not true. It was 6 months before the Soviet...
Oh no, what do you mean? Oh no, this is craziness, absolute madness. This is the fucking point that I was making before about how if you're mad about the Taliban takeover, you should be mad even before Operation Cyclone. You should be mad at the United States involvement that wanted to go to a USSR invasion by literally drumming up insurgencies and arming the absolute tits out of them. Okay?
invasion in July of
against
that year.
the socialist government.
That President Jimmy Carter authorized $500 million to help set up the Mujahideen, a terrorist organization. The American people were completely unaware that their government, together with the British Secret Service, MI6, had begun training and funding Islamic extremists, including Osama bin Laden.
That's crazy. What?
Out of this came the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and September the 11th. Soon after the Taliban came to power in 1996, the administration of Bill Clinton backed a secret plan for a pipeline through Afghanistan from Central Asia, which has vast reserves of oil and gas. The Taliban were offered a generous cut in the deal and secretly invited to Washington and Texas. They were treated royally, taken shopping and flown to tourist attractions like the NASA Space Center and Mount Rushmore. Their tour was so secret that no television news covered it. Most Americans knew nothing. By the time George W. Bush came to power, the link between Al-Qaeda and the Taliban was an embarrassment, and September the 11th gave Bush an opportunity to get rid of them. Today, Afghanistan is run by a regime installed by the Americans, and the pipeline deal is going ahead. September the 11th also presented an opportunity to an influential group who, even by Republican Party standards, were extreme. Ray McGovern is a former senior officer of the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, and a personal friend of George Bush Sr., the president's father.
The same people who are running U.S. policy now are people that the president's father kept at arm's length. They were referred to in the circles in which I moved when I was briefing at the top intelligence and policy levels. They were referred to as the crazies. The crazies. I mean, you talk about the crazies, everyone knew who they were. Richard Pearl, Paul Wolfowitz, Doug Feith, those folks.
The crazies also include Donald Rumsfeld, seen here in Baghdad in 1986, warmly greeting Saddam Hussein, who was then being armed to the teeth by America and Britain. This is one of their...
Wait, what? Wait, hold on, what? No, wait, did he say they armed Saddam Hussein to the teeth? That's crazy.
Blueprints, published in 2000 by the extreme right-wing group Project for a New American Century. The U.S. military will fight multiple simultaneous wars as the cavalry on the new American frontier. The principal author is William Crystal.
The problem with America is not that we go around marauding around the world.
Fucking Bill Kristol, dude. Another demon.
Imposing ourselves. The problem with America in the last 10, 15 years since the end of the Cold War, really in the last 60 years, is that we've been too slow to get involved.
Yeah, that's the real... Bro, that's the real problem. Is just like we're not fucking hitting hard enough, fast enough. You know what I mean?
In conflicts.
Outside America, people have worried about the United States conducting an unprovoked attack on a country, a sovereign country.
Are they? Are they?
Yes, they are.
Really? They're worried we're going to attack Britain, France, Germany, any democracy?
Oh, I love that, dude. I love that. The only countries that matter. No, motherfucker. Of course our NATO allies are not worried about America attacking them because there are NATO allies.
No, because...
Any decent regime?
No, no.
Oh, decent regime. Okay, never mind. How about the American regime, bro? What's so decent about what we're doing? I hate this fucking piece of shit. I hate Never Trump Republicans so much, dude. And I hate MSNBC for fucking platforming them. And I hate the New York Times for platforming them. Like, they are not a real constituency. They are not a real collective. They're not a real group of individuals. They are mercenaries, okay? They're mercenaries in the take economy. They originally fucking justified so much bloodshed, and then they moved fucking teams, and they still continue to do that exact same thing. The fact that these dudes can run around and write Atlantic articles over and over again when they're abysmal fucking failures, when they're abysmal attitudes, they're horrific attitudes that dehumanized and led to the death of millions of fucking people in the Middle East, is not fairly adjudicated. And instead of going to jail, which they deserve to be in, okay, for a very long time until rehabilitation, they get to fucking just continue to whitewash their involvement, continue to whitewash that same kind of like brutality, and point the finger of blame elsewhere, like they had nothing to do with it.
The United States doesn't usually attack strong countries.
Do we attack decent countries?
No, I said strong countries.
Well, I was asking decent countries.
I don't know
Are
what
people
you would
really
call,
worried the U.S. is going to go, a decent, law-abiding country, and the U.S. is going to come in and say, we don't like the look of you, we're going to depose you? Is that something the U.S. has done?
What about Iran? Maybe not boots on the ground military warfare, but what about the near entirety of Central America and South America? What about those countries? Law-abiding. Was Chile not law-abiding?
Quite often. How many countries has the U.S. attacked in the last 15 years?
All of them. The answer is like all of them with the exclusion of NATO and China and like other regional powers that this person, or superpowers around the world that this person is like correctly pointing out.
Well, since World War II, there have been 72 interventions by the United States.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
That's ludicrous.
Well, it's not ludicrous.
That's ludicrous. No, that's history, you fucking piece of shit. That's the best part. That number is actually a conservative estimation, okay? And it's also increased significantly since this video was filmed. But let me just say something here, okay? The reason why Billy Crystal, old Slick Willie, can get away with like laughing at America's horrific wrongs throughout history is because most of you don't know the history. Most people don't know the history. Okay? That's it. That's literally it, because it's not taught in schools. You don't fucking hear about it. You never hear about it. Even if you go to college, you don't hear about it more often than not. Okay? So miss me with that, like, college is a Marxist indoctrination factory. Okay? Because neoliberal hegemony dictates or necessitates imperialism, and the only way to sustain it is by feeding you a steady diet of misinformation, purposeful obfuscation of the truth, omission, all of that.
Ludicrous is true. These are some of the countries where the United States, directly and indirectly, has overthrown governments, manipulated elections, and attacked popular movements since 1945. Bush's war on terror is just another brand name replacing the Red Menace as justification for a systematic aggression. This is well documented, yet it remains a kind of secret history, seldom reported in the West, as a war of terror.
It's just a list of the countries. Yeah, like all of them. If the U.S. stops imposing its will, what's stopping Russia or China or any of the global powers from threatening the U.S.? What do you mean threatening the U.S.? What does that mean? Like, I need someone to explain threatening the U.S. by what, dude? People always fucking say this, like... Obviously, we're holding off the Chinese front from the Middle East. I don't understand, though. Like, why? It's been a fucking massive burden for us, and we've done so much death and destabilization. Let China fucking deal with it and ruin their own imperial endeavors if they're going to do so. That was taken from this documentary. I got timestamps if you want it. Oh, this is an entire documentary about the lies on war on terror. I don't want to... Dude, I don't want to go through another 51-minute documentary with, like, a fuckload of blood. When you say you don't want the United States interfering, what you mean is like you don't want the United States to interfere, or when you say you don't want other nations to interfere, what you actually mean is you don't want the other nations to fucking, steal the resources that we are supposed to be stealing. Okay? That's it. That's the reality. Because that's all that's happening. Okay? Why did so many dinosaurs die in the Middle East? What? Like, yo, istiyorum yap lütfen. Yok, hayır. Okay, here's what I will say. Okay? Our insurgent and our destabilization efforts have not necessarily changed the ideologies of these places. Look no further than the Middle East or areas where America's involvement has changed the ideologies of that, or the dominant ideologies. It's always for the worst. Okay? Because we align ourselves when there is any sort of like socialist momentum or anything going on. The United States will align itself with fascists, with brutal dictators, like we did in Cuba, or fundamentalists, religious fundamentalists. And then once they're done fucking around, if that ever does happen, they will create actual momentum behind whatever that fundamentalist, anti-imperialist force is, leaving the people helpless and seeing the psychopathic religious warlords as their like their only way to like stop further U.S. occupation. It literally just happened in Afghanistan with the Taliban. That's it. Your takes are honestly dog shit speaking out of your ass most of the time without credible sources. Please talk with facts, not personal feelings. Thanks. Aw, how nice of him to say thanks, though. Yeah, it's totally dog shit, man. Totally. I know. You fucking own me.
Tonight.
Inside the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan. I don't know if we should watch yet another fucking video on this, dude. I feel like we've seen all of this. And we watched different parts of this. I think this is just a collection of all of those videos. There was a couple different things I wanted to watch. What the Taliban takeover means?
All right, hey, welcome back, my friends. We have some terrible news. This past Sunday, the Taliban overthrew Bagram Air Base. Now, this is arguably the most fortified and defensible location in Afghanistan.
Yeah, totally, dude. Until, you know, the U.S. forces fucking left in the dead of the night without even informing the Afghan allies that they were leaving. And then when people yelled at them for doing that, you're an industry plan here to spread lies, stop the misinformation. Yeah, true. Yeah, when people were like, what the fuck, why'd you guys do that? They were like, okay, well, we did that because, you know, OPSEC. Oh, here's what I wanted to watch. We had to fucking leave without informing the Afghans because we couldn't let the Taliban know of our strategic evacuation.
When you look at what's happened over the last week,
The fuck is this? This is so quiet.
was it a failure of intelligence? When you look at what's happened over the last week, was it a failure of intelligence, planning, execution, or judgment?
Look, I don't think it was a fair. Look, it was a simple choice, George. When the Taliban, let me put it another way. When you had the government of Afghanistan, the leader of that government getting in a plane and taking off and going to another country, when you saw the significant collapse of the Afghan troops we had trained, up to 300,000 of them, just leaving their equipment and taking off. That was, you know, I'm not, this is that.
You know the funniest part about this? You know how I told you guys that, I've talked about this before, like, you know, there is a bipartisan consensus on, like, America's imperialist endeavors, never-ending war, death, destabilization, yada, yada. And, you know, it goes above party lines always, and that's precisely why Obama didn't prosecute former Bush-era administration officials for their war crimes, for torture, and simply said, we must not look backwards, we must look forward, and said, yep, we tortured some folks. Instead of actually giving them any sort of accountability for the actions that, the horrific actions that they engaged in, or even lying about the Iraq War, all this stuff. So that was that is yet another example of, like, the American war machine being bipartisan, right? And that's precisely what Joe Biden is doing here. If he wanted to, he could literally throw the previous administration under the bus. He could just be like, listen, Jack, I didn't fucking negotiate the terms of this goddamn evacuation. Trump did. I didn't ask the Trump administration to not bring the Afghan government to the table when they were negotiating with the Taliban on a conditional withdrawal. Trump's administration did. I'm simply here because I believe it's the right thing to do to you know, pull our forces out of this never-ending war. It was inevitable that death and destabilization was going to come. And I feel terrible for the people of Afghanistan. But the reality is, we were not a force for good there. Like, he could say that, and he would be honest. He could literally turn around and just be like, it wasn't my fucking deal. It was the Trump deal. I just facilitated it. I just executed it, right? Because that's the truth. But he's not throwing the previous administration under the bus. He's caping for them because that's how this works. in a lot of instances, most of these people are the same. The people that executed that deal with the Taliban are still the same people in the fucking defense side. And it's the same attitude that every administration has had, with the exception of Donald Trump, who was just like constantly fucking shit on every other previous administration.
That's what happened. That's simply what happened.
But we've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen.
Where's the Trump agreement you speak of? Yeah, where is that, dude? I totally am making this up, right? It was literally on 9/11 too. I know that the GOP is trying to retcon it, but oh my fucking god, dude! How do I hackermans this, dude? This sucks. There it is, hackermans. I mean, here, yeah, never mind. Don't believe me? Ask Donald Trump, dude. This was from 1 month ago. Trump, 1 month ago on the campaign, on a campaign trail, but 1 fucking month ago.
The process, all the troops are coming back home. They couldn't stop the process. 21 years is enough, don't we think? 21 years. They couldn't stop the process. They wanted to, but it was very tough to stop the process when other things are at. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a shame. 21 years by a government that wouldn't last. The only way they last is if we're there. What are we going to say? We'll stay for another 21 years, then we'll stay for another 50. The whole thing is ridiculous. So we're bringing our troops back home. I started.
It's a deep fake, brother, right? Pentagon says the U.S. has dropped to 2,500 troops in Afghanistan. The U.S. military has met its goal of reducing the number of troops in Afghanistan to about 2,500 by Friday, a drawdown that may have violated a last-minute congressional prohibition. Trump taking credit for something he actually did? What? Well, now he's not. That's the funniest part. The funniest part is Trump actually, that's your argument? Wait, Trump literally last month saying that we are pulling out of Afghanistan on my negotiations, on my deal, is not enough? Dude, I love Trump supporters, man. You will never be able to convince them, because like they will literally hear Donald Trump say, I did this, okay? And it was fucking awesome. And then they'll still turn around and be like, oh, no, he didn't do it. Like, I don't care that he actually said he did it. Remember when Trump requested withdrawals of troops and people in the Pentagon and liberal media bragged about fudging the numbers up to keep troops on the field? Yes, I do remember. I was defending Donald Trump. At that point, I was literally, unironically defending Donald Trump. If you guys remember, the only thing I said that I was like worried about is whether the troop withdrawal meant that there was going to be an increase of defense contractors. Donald Trump talked about how he wanted to fucking pull troops out of Afghanistan in nearly every single fucking campaign speech that he gave. Biden faces Trump's deadline on Afghanistan troop withdrawal. Any way you cut it, we are headed for a messy outcome. Oh, wow, look at that. That's back in March. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. The Trump administration literally freed the Mullah Barabar, from Pakistani prison. He will now probably be the next president of Afghanistan, the next, like, the Taliban president. The Trump administration literally went to Pakistan, took him out of prison, which he was in for 8 years, and then negotiated with him on, it's Barabar, not Barabar. Shut the fuck up. Barabar. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Took him out of fucking prison and negotiated with him on 9/11 last year. Like, you can't make this up. The U.S. and Taliban have signed an agreement for bringing peace to Afghanistan after more than 18 years of conflict. The U.S. and NATO allies have agreed to withdraw troops within 14 months if militants uphold the deal. President Trump said it had been a long and hard journey in Afghanistan. It's time, after all these years, to bring our people back home, he said.
We've had tremendous success in Afghanistan in the killing of terrorists, but it's time, after all these years, to go and to bring our people back home. We want to bring our people back home. And again, it's been a long journey in Afghanistan in particular. It's been a very long journey. It's been a hard journey for everybody. We're very largely a law enforcement group, and that's not what our soldiers are all about. They're fighters. They're the greatest fighters in the world. As you know, we've destroyed in Syria and Iraq 100% of the ISIS caliphate, 100%.
Why should our...
That's crazy, man. What a wild deep fake that was, right? Wait, didn't Biden change that plan 2 months ago? No, he fucking didn't. What are you talking about? He literally just, like, followed through on the conditional withdrawal. Dude, chuds are so funny. Like, Trump supporters are so funny. They're, like, grasping at fucking straws when I show them it's literally Donald Trump. And it's actually Donald Trump's, deal. They're now, at first they were saying that's not real. It wasn't Donald Trump's deal. Now they're fucking saying, oh, well, it was Donald Trump's deal, but, like, Biden fudged it up. No, it was Donald Trump's fucking deal. And Biden is just continuing on that fucking deal. It doesn't matter. They're both at fault anyway.
That's what happened. That's simply what happened.
But we've all seen the pictures. We've seen the...
Did he have to follow through, though? Yeah, no, dude. You know there's a ceasefire. Since you don't know the fucking details of conditional withdrawal, let me explain it to you. There's a fucking ceasefire, okay, that the Taliban agreed to. And we sucked it up. And even when they killed contractors and shit, still, we didn't do anything, okay? Because we knew that if we started fucking fighting again, it would be 10 more fucking years of destabilization, which is against the best interests of the U.S. empire at the time. There was a ceasefire with American forces and the Taliban. And that ceasefire was slated to end. So what did you want? Did you want them to fucking literally... I mean, we're going to get to the Donald Trump video right now in a second. But did you want them to, like, go back into war?
Those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What did you think when you first saw those pictures?
What I thought was we have to gain control of this. We have to move this more quickly. We have to move in a way in which we can take control of that airport. And
it sounds like you wanted the U.S. to stay there? Fuck no.
We did.
So you don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea...
Dude, every single president since Carter has had a hand in the situation in Afghanistan. Every single president. Please stop looking at this on partisan lines, you fucking fools. We are talking about war, dude. There is no party line on war. Every single fucking president, no matter if they're Democrat, no matter if they're Republican, has played an active role in the death and devastation in the Middle East and also in Afghanistan. Okay? Stop. I know that this breaks people's brains. I know that this breaks people's brains because they're like, wait a minute, like, I only have one way to understand. I only have one way to understand the news, and that's through like a partisan framework. Like, what you're saying breaks my brain a little bit. There is no party lines when it comes to war, okay? Both parties are slaves to the military-industrial complex, okay? Jesus Christ.
That somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the decision?
Yes.
Soldiers. Oh shit. Let's listen to the fucking lies told by. Oh, Fox memo details mask requirements and vaccine passport system while the network keeps railing against them for everyone else, by the way. They fucking did it. They found it. Some brave Fox News media member actually leaked it to the media. They did. Look at that. Fox News, dear colleagues, as all of you know, at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. What? What the fuck? I can't believe... Wait, what? And if you'd like to no longer see the ads, and if you want an ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe. What? Whether it's for $5 or for free? With a Twitch Prime, you can subscribe for free, or you can use an ad block or a VPN. But Twitch Prime is free if you have an Amazon Prime account. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. What the fuck? That's so crazy that they did that. That they wrote that. No way. Okay, here are some of the steps we're currently taking given the rise of COVID cases nationwide. We've asked all employees, whether on site, as part of our essential workforce, or working remotely, to upload their vaccination status into Workday. This is being done for space planning and contract tracing purposes in conjunction with the CDC state city health safety guidelines. Last week, we reinstated our on-site COVID testing program every Monday and Thursday for select essential employees due to their work environment within our New York offices. In our New York offices, masks remain optional for vaccinated individuals, but are strongly encouraged in public areas throughout the building. However, we are requiring employees to wear a mask in small, confined spaces with limited opportunities for social distancing. That's so weird. All employees and vendors are required to complete a daily screening ahead of reporting to work. At many locations, you will ask to display either a Work Care Go to Work green screen or a Fox Clear Pass to a security representative upon entering the building or workspace. Wow. Additionally, for those of you coping with the stress from the ongoing difficulties posed by the pandemic, they have employee assistance program. Wait, it says that your health and safety are always a top priority. Comical, thank you for the 10 tier 1 gift subs. That's crazy. Isn't this New York regulations? Yeah, but they comply with New York regulations, which means that they are either completely vaccinated or even when they're completely vaccinated, they still have to wear masks. That's really weird that they have that's really, really weird that they have these rules, and yet all the Fox News hosts are fucking crying about it in the news. Almost like these rules help people, and they know that it helps people, which is precisely why they don't have a fucking problem when they have to abide by them or when they go and get the jab.
Mr. President.
But they portray themselves in an entirely different way. They portray themselves in an entirely different way when it comes to, the outward-facing rhetoric.
And thank you for being with us. Let me go back. I've had a number of people tell me that there were very specific conditions and very specific warnings that you gave personally to the Taliban.
Personally.
Joe Biden.
What the fuck? Hal Gayer, thank you for the 71. Why 71? What a strange thing. For the 71 gifted subs.
Biden is trying to blame you. I want first to give you an opportunity to respond to that, your assessment of what's going on, and what was that conversation to the extent you feel you're able to share it with us.
Well, it's good to be with you, Sean, but it's a terrible time for our country. I don't think in all of the years our country has ever been so humiliated. I don't know, would you call it a military defeat or a psychological defeat? There's never been anything like what's happened here. It's you can go back to Jimmy Carter.
No, we didn't watch this yesterday. We watched like 3 clips from it, but I wanted to watch the thing. Okay, thank you.
With the hostages.
Thank you.
We all thought that was a great embarrassment, and we were pulled out of that by Ronald Reagan. This is many, many times worse, and you're dealing with thousands and thousands of Americans and others that are stranded and very dangerously, really stranded in Afghanistan. So it's something that you can't even believe that a thing like this could. I looked at that big monster cargo plane yesterday with people grabbing the side and trying to get flown out of Afghanistan because of their fear, their incredible fear, and they're blowing off the plane from 2,000 feet up in the air. It's nobody's ever seen anything like that. That blows the helicopters in Vietnam away. That's not even a contest. This has been the most humiliating period of time I've ever seen. Yeah, we had a great deal. We worked on it very hard. Mike Pompeo, a brilliant guy, and many others worked on it endlessly. Meetings with the Taliban. Of course, you have to meet with the Taliban. They're the ones that you're negotiating with. I spoke on numerous occasions to the head of the Taliban, and we had a very strong conversation. I told him up front, I said, look, before we start, let me just tell you right now that if anything bad happens to Americans or anybody else, or if you ever come over to our land, we will hit you with a force that no country has ever been hit with before. A force so great that you won't even believe it. And your village, and we know where it is, and I named it, will be the first one.
Mr.
The first
President, I want to interrupt.
Dropped right there.
You said this to who?
Yeah.
Who did you said to that to who?
To Mullah Baradar, who is
The Mullah Baradar, who he got out of Pakistani prison.
probably the top person. Now, nobody really knows who the top person is, but I would say that's probably the top person, and it seems to be that's the way it's rolling right now. But I had a very strong conversation. I also had a good conversation with him. We talked for a while after that. That was the primary point I was making, and he understood it. And I asked him, do you understand? He said, yes, I do understand. And I wanted them to get a deal done with the Afghan government. Now, I never had a lot of confidence, frankly, in Ghani. I said that openly and plainly. I thought he was a total crook. I thought he got away with murder. He spent all his time whining and dining our senators. I mean, the senators were in his pocket. That was one of the problems that we had. But I never liked him. And I guess based on his escape with cash, I don't know, maybe that's a true story. I would suspect it is. All you have to do is look at his lifestyle, study his houses where he lives. He got away with murder in many different ways. But I had a very, very strong talk with the Taliban, which I consider to be much more important in this sense because they were the problem. And they've been there for a long time, and they're good fighters, and they fight hard. And after I said that, we had a pretty good conversation. Now, I have to tell you that if you remember when they were coming to Washington to meet with me, they decided to kill an American soldier because they thought that was a good way to negotiate, and I canceled the trip. And we had a conditions-based agreement. And if you remember, it said May 1st, we want to get out because we have to get out. I've listened to people on your show and other shows say we should stay. They don't know. We were spending $42 billion a year. $42 billion. Think of it, $42 billion. I understand Russia spends $50 billion a year for their entire military. We were spending $42 billion, not 1%. They were saying 1%. That's a lot of nonsense. We're spending $42 billion a year on defending this for years and years. We've been there really now, not 20 years, but 21 and a half years. And we get nothing out of any of these things that we do, whether it's them or many other countries I could tell you about. I'm not going to insult anybody right now. But to spend that kind of money and then to have people get on shows and say how inexpensive it was. And I have to tell you also that we lost no soldiers in the last year and a half because of me and because of the understanding that we had. We lost no, think of that. In Chicago and in New York and in other cities in the United States, many people die every weekend. We lost no.
Also under your watch, though. So, like, it's not a massive cap. He's right. There's a reason why they say Chirac. Like, he's not wrong. But you're fucking the president of America. So, kind of weird that you're bringing that up. I mean, he basically admitted everything, dude. He's like admitting every part of this process.
No soldiers in Afghanistan because they knew I wasn't going to put up with it. And that's what happened. So we had a very strong conversation.
Let me ask you this, sir. You know, it's interesting to listen to Joe Biden blame you. I inherited this deal, he kept saying, but he also inherited secure borders, and he also inherited energy independence, and he also inherited 3 vaccines and therapeutics like Regeneron. And we now see what's been unfolding, and he didn't have inflation at the time. I want to go back. I want to be very clear here, because Secretary of State Pompeo on this program said exactly what you did, that there wouldn't be an exit strategy that didn't include the current conditions on the ground. And I have multiple sources, and you're confirming tonight, that it sounds to me like you told the Taliban that if they violated any aspect of this agreement with territorial ambitions, we learned last week that 60% of the country was in their control. And you told them in no uncertain terms, it sounds to me like you would basically treat them like you took care of the caliphate in Syria, ISIS.
Well, we did. We got rid of the caliphate. Everyone said it was impossible, and I did it very quickly, and I let the generals make the decisions. The generals, the real generals, the ones that were over there doing the fighting, the ones that knew how to do it, because we have a lot of generals that shouldn't be generals right now, frankly. And I'm watching them all the time. But we have some great ones. We have great leaders in our military. We have the greatest military in the world. And we're giving it a very bad reputation by what's happening. Think of it. We took this horrible place. I mean, a place that just we shouldn't have been involved. It was a horrible decision going into the Middle East. And I know the Bush family will not be happy, but I believe it was the worst decision in the history of our country when we decided to go into the Middle East. It's turned out to be quicksand. We've destroyed the Middle East. Do you think it's better now than it was 20, 21 years ago? It's much worse. It was a horrible decision, cost us trillions of dollars. And if you look at both sides, because I like to look at both sides, millions and millions of lives. And it's no different than it was. It's much worse because you have to rebuild it. It's been blown to pieces. The worst decision ever made was going, you can do a strike as retribution, and it could be a big strike as retribution for the World Trade Center, etc.
Bro, he literally dropped a Moab, the mother of all bombs, in Afghanistan, like as one of the first things that he did, for literally no reason, like absolutely zero reason, dude. I do find it really funny though that like whenever Trump Whenever Trump is spitting, he's fucking spitting. Like, he's right. Like, everything he's saying from, you know, fighting, going into Afghanistan was one of the worst foreign policy mishaps of all time. Like, he's right.
But to get stuck in there was like quicksand. So we did a terrible thing. But think of what's happening now. I've heard as many as 40,000 Americans. And the Taliban, good fighters, I will tell you, they're good fighters. We have to give them credit for that. They've been fighting for 1,000 years. That's what they do, is they fight. The Taliban has circled the airport.
Bro, yo, I wish I was a Republican, dude. Straight up. Like, you get away with everything when you're a Republican. Like, everything. Like, my man said, the Taliban are fucking great fighters, dude. Can you imagine any leftist that says that? Immediately, like, wow, I can't believe this person, like, unironically loves the Taliban. Why are you defending the Taliban? You love Taliban. Like, can you imagine Ilhan, yeah, as Chatter pointed out, like, an Ilhan Omar take like that? Imagine Obama saying that. Like, liberal media fucking ripped Bernie a new asshole for saying that, like, the Cuba literacy programs were, like, good and shit like that. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Donald Trump is literally like, the Taliban, they're fucking based. They're based. It's a Maoist revolution. I love it. Let me tell you, that guy Mao, he has some good ideas. Wrote a lot of poetry. You ever read his poetry? Very good. The People's Revolution, they're revolting. You have nothing to lose but your chains, I said. And like Republicans are like, yeah, brother. I fucking love that, brother. That's so good. Yeah, Joe Pags was losing his fucking mind when I was saying the exact same things as Trump. Why do Americans scrutinize Democrats more than Republicans? Because Republicans own patriotism. Mao, he was a deal maker. If you say racist shit, you can get away with it, bro. LMAO. Yeah, I mean, as long as you accompany it by being like, they're dogs, they're animals, Our military members, they're so hot. They're so fucking hot. I would have sucked their cocks. Then you can say whatever you want. You know what I mean?
And who knows if they're going to treat us right? You know, all of a sudden they'll say, well, frankly, if they were smart, they'd really, and they are smart, they should let the Americans out. But we've had situations where you have 2 or 3 or 4 hostages. We could have 40,000 Americans, not to mention others, like people that helped us in Afghanistan. So we've never had a situation like this. We have 40,000 potential.
The Taliban, they're so smart. I love them. They're so smart. They're so handsome. You see what they're doing? They put on that eyeliner. They call it guy liner. I like it. People are saying it's good to get the sweat out of their eye. That's why they're such good shots. They're crack shots. Our soldiers, they're losers. They're losers. Some of the generals, they're handsome. But they don't have guy liner. Believe me. That's why I said to our handsome generals, I told them, you look like you're out of central casting. Come here. I told them, use guy liner in the U.S. military. Believe me. And the generals said no. Oh, man.
Hostages, a minimum of 11,000, but it could be as many as 40. No, they have no idea how many. Nobody knows how many. They don't know anything.
When Joe Biden told the country that he trusted that the Afghan military was so far superior and they were over 300,000 strong and they had an air force and we wouldn't see what happened in Saigon, he couldn't have been more wrong.
Someone should ask Donald Trump why he didn't facilitate the troop withdrawal in the 4 years of his fucking presidency if he was going to do it better. Like, if if liberal media treated Donald Trump evenly in the same way that they do like anyone who goes against war, which will never happen, they would unironically be like, don't you feel like you are responsible for the death and destruction that befalls upon the Afghan citizens by not taking decisive and quick action and leaving it to the next administration, which you did everything in your power to undermine in the transition because you were too busy doing a fucking tour, a world tour about how you actually hadn't lost the election and, you know, driving up your own support for an insurrectionist movement that ultimately led to the January 6th Capitol riots? That's the question you got to ask them. Like, you were too busy doing that shit instead of fucking, instead of, you know, pod kid in there.
But let me go back to the words you used to the Taliban leader, because we knew last week that 60% of the country had already been taken over by the Taliban. And there was no sense of urgency. To me, under your plan, if they had taken over 5%, not 60 like they had last, 5% that was not in your agreement, what would have happened to them?
We would have hit them very hard. Again, the words are conditions, plural, conditions based. It was an agreement where actually we wanted to get out by May 1st, and they violated the agreement, so we didn't. It's a great agreement from a lot of different standpoints. And frankly, Biden didn't have to even go by that agreement. He could have done. Look what he's done to the border. We had the greatest border, southern border, in the history of.
Once again, literally admitting that Biden is just following the terms of the agreement that he put together. Sorry.
Our country. We stopped drugs. We stopped human trafficking. We stopped people from coming in, prisoners from coming in. Now you'll have, I mean, you have the worst people in the world. They're emptying their jails into our country. This is like the southern border, but it's handled even worse. Nobody handled the southern border worse than him. We had the most secure border we've ever had. Now we have by far the worst border we've ever had. Well, Afghanistan is the exact same thing. To think of this, we have a military. It's holding it. You know, I got it reduced down to 2,500 soldiers, and they were doing a good job. It was fine. It was a smaller force. I took it down from close to 20 to 2,500, and we were fine. But we have the military there, and we take the military out before we took our civilians out, and before we took the interpreters and other. We want to try and help. But by the way, I'm America first, okay? The Americans come out first. But we're also going to help people that helped us. And we have to be very careful with the vetting because you have some rough people in there, but we're going to help those people. But can you imagine? Now, what we were going to do just very quickly is we were going to take the military out last, okay, last. The people were coming out. They were going to come out. But the agreement was violated, so I held things back because we weren't going to do anything, again, conditions-based. So they weren't fulfilling their obligations and conditions.
He's literally admitting that, like, he didn't follow the terms of his own agreement, making it more complicated to do a full withdrawal in the immediate first month of the Biden presidency. Like, he's basically just saying he held things back, which I see as, like, an admission that he was still fucking it up.
But here's just to finish. The people come out first. Then I was going to take all of the military equipment. We have billions and billions of dollars worth of new Black Hawk helicopters, brand new, that Russia now will be examining, and so will China, and so will everybody else to figure it because it's the greatest in the world. We have brand new army tanks and all sorts.
He said the Taliban violated the agreement. I understand that. Except he then said that he pushed back the evacuation. Like, he personally pushed back on the evacuation of military personnel, implying that he himself also took actions that would have stopped the actual conditional agreement from being executed, literally all the way to the end of said agreement, which was going to be dealt with on I think it was May 1st, right? Jason Allen, you are correct. Trump did do the same thing in Syria, but the Republicans loved it then. But also, there's a government in Syria, so that's a major difference. Whereas the puppet government that we had installed in Afghanistan, that was not real. Like, I'm not a fucking, Lion of Syria fan myself. But ultimately, the reality is that he still does have a government and a military. Remember when he said he told their leader that they'd destroy them if any of their men were killed, and then when they did that, he didn't do that? Yeah, of course, because it's a fucking lie. Do you think he intentionally dumped it on Biden, knowing it would be a PR disaster? No, I think he's like, this is like one of those areas where he is a bit of an outsider. And so he knows, he's like so good. He's got such a keen eye for like recognizing what American people want. And he noticed that this was an unpopular war, and it was just like fucking killing kids and not Afghan kids, of course. He doesn't give a fuck about that. They're brown. Who gives a shit? But he 100% was like, Americans don't want this anymore. You know what I mean? And we can use our resources elsewhere. You know, we can go fucking fight in Africa. You know what I mean? All these other places. So he most likely thought that he was going to be the president when the pullout was happening. And I personally believe he wouldn't have pulled out. Because if he was going to pull out, he would have fucking pulled out in the beginning of his out of context clip. Wait, what? What did I say? I personally think that he thought he was still going to be president, and he most likely was not going to pull out in the end. Because he is a lot more susceptible to pressure than, for some weird reason, like Biden was. Or at least Biden recognized that. Biden basically recognized that, the public wanted this. Now, attitudes are changing because the media is, like, pumping a steady diet of misinformation. But I think, like, Biden has an opportunity to fucking say that, this is what was necessary. It was always going to be a fuck up. I'm going to be an adult about it, and I'm taking responsibility, even though it's not entirely my responsibility. I was an opponent, of the troop surge under the Obama administration when I was fucking vice president, which is true. He wanted to send in still a surge, but not 100,000, less troops, but still. It was a fuck up in 2001. It was a fuck up when I was vice president, and it's still a fuck up. And I had to do the right thing by the Afghan civilians and the right thing by our American soldiers. But your Democrat is coming out. Wait, what? How is that your Democrat is coming out? I literally just said it was a massive policy failure and a fuck up that was devastating, including the fucking troop surge under the Obama administration when he was the vice president. You think Democrats actually fucking think that? What are you, silly? Democrats think Obama has never done anything wrong except like wear a fucking tan suit.
Sorts of equipment, missiles, we have everything. I was going to take it out because I knew they weren't going to fight. Just one thing, and I have to say, and this is different from everyone else, I said, why are they fighting? Why are these Afghan soldiers fighting against the Taliban? And I was told some very bad information by a lot of different people. The fact is, they're among the highest paid soldiers in the world. They were doing it for a paycheck because once we left, they stopped fighting. So all of the people that talk about the bravery and everything, I say everybody's brave. But the fact is, our country was paying the Afghan soldiers a fortune. So we were sort of bribing them to fight. And that's not what it's all about. It's a great thing that we're getting out, but nobody has ever.
No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's right. The problem is, okay, here's what the issue is, guys. He's not wrong. He's completely correct. The problem is the actual end point he arrives at. The premises are correct. It's just that he arrives at the wrong conclusion. The conclusion is that Afghans are cowards and they're only mercenaries. The real conclusion is that they just didn't want to fucking fight the Taliban for an occupying force. Do you see what I'm saying? And they were going to continue getting money as much as they can, but the real reason was like they want stability. They don't want fucking endless war. He also did say that they were brave, including the Afghan National Security and the Taliban. He literally said the Taliban are fucking incredible fighters.
Never handled a withdrawal worse than Joe Biden. This is the greatest embarrassment, I believe, in the history.
That's a bit far. He literally said that. They're highly paid, the Afghan security forces? No, they're not highly paid.
Of our country.
Mr. President, we don't...
The Taliban were like unironically better paid than... The Taliban is actually a very well-paid, well-oiled machine. They get a fuckload of Wahhabist funding.
I don't know how many Americans are trapped behind enemy lines. We know that the Taliban have set up a perimeter around the airport. I guess the question is, how do we get our people home now? What would you advise? What would you do if you were put into this situation right now and dropped in and you were to take over? What is the answer? Because we don't know where they are. Senator Tom Cotton literally said that people are being told to go to a website. Don't call anymore. Go to a website, he said. I'm like, please tell me we have a better plan than that. Joe's been on vacation. I just heard that apparently he landed back at the White House. Nice of him to return.
And he only returned because he was getting...
Bro. You're talking to Donald Trump, dude. He literally is the record holder for most vacations. What do you mean? Like, not to be too much of a lib, but Donald Trump literally holds the record for most like off days, golf days out of any president. Not a single president will ever reach his number. He did break that in like the first year too. That's so funny. They're like, I can't believe Joe Biden is on vacation. Which, by the way, yeah, why is he on vacation? That's actually a correct take there. You should not be on fucking vacation when you know that like your troops are withdrawing. But the real reason why Joe Biden is on vacation when the troops are withdrawing is because he's not actually on vacation. He's in a fucking vat, okay? He's in a vat, and he's strapped up to a bunch of fucking, fluid pumping machines that is directly pumping adrenochrome into his goddamn old-ass, brittle-boned body so that he can at least go on stage and like, yeah, Jack Malarkey for like 3.5 minutes, okay? That's the real reason why he's not on scene and on call 24/7 during this fucking troubling time.
Terrible press. Okay, he didn't return for any other reason. And I don't even believe he's calling the shots. Look, what you need more than anything is a president that's respected. You need a president that got rid of ISIS. We got 100% got rid of ISIS. We did a job. Al-Baghdadi, I won't even mention all of the things that we did. Nobody's ever done what we've done. We were respected all over the world. China was paying us billions and billions of dollars of tariffs. Companies were moving back into our country, and China respected us. And frankly, they respected me. But you look, Russia, I had the pipeline stopped, totally stopped. Biden comes in, he approves that pipeline, but he disapproves the Keystone XL pipeline. You need a president that's respected. I've never realized how important, frankly, and it's a horrible thing to say, how important a president, the head of this country, is. I thought it would maybe run through bureaucracy. It doesn't. You need somebody up there that they're going to respect. So when they say, oh, he talked to the Taliban, you remember they were criticizing me. They criticized me when I talked to Kim Jong-un. Well, President Biden told me it's the single biggest problem we have. I said, have you ever called him? Have you ever talked to him? No, I haven't. He did try, but it was not receptive on the other side. But it was receptive with me. Now, we were supposed to have a war, and probably a very big nuclear war. I get along with him great, and I got along with him great. He doesn't like Biden much, I'll tell you that. But I got along with him great, and we had no problems. You remember that. We were virtually, remember the big button versus the little button and the whole thing. Let me just, we get along great. We had a very good relationship. We met. We got no credit for that one. No problem. By the way, South Korea, I got them to pay billions of dollars, billions. We're protecting South Korea. They're very wealthy. They built the ships. They built the televisions. They do everything. They're very rich. They were paying us nothing. I got them to pay billions and billions of dollars because we're protecting them from North Korea. And I had a very good relationship with President Moon and all of the people in South Korea. In fact, they liked me and I liked them. But I said, why are we doing this for nothing? Japan, the same thing. So many. We're protecting the world. We can't do this. We're not supposed to be doing this. If you look at Russia, if you look at China,
he's so good, dude. I think the liberal consultants that don't let Joe Biden go off book like this are doing such a disservice to him. They actually are. Because, like, he's so funny, dude. I hate watching long-form Trump clips because my once normal parents eat this up now. But he's insane, dude. He's literally insane. He's like, they had so much money. Look at their TVs. LG. They got cars. They got TVs. They have so much money. So I made them. Why are you molding? I'm not. What do you mean? What? I mean, he is the definition of old man yells at cloud, but he does it in such an entertaining way.
how many countries are they fighting for? One. You ask them. They're fighting for Russia. They're fighting for China. They're not fighting for 93 different countries all over the world. Most of them, nobody ever heard of them. So we had a very, very strong conversation with the mullah. And frankly, it absolutely, they would not have done what they've done right now. This is the greatest embarrassment and beyond embarrassment. This is something that it will affect our relationships for years to come and decades to come. I will say, when China watches this, they're so happy and they're laughing at us. They're laughing. I extracted billions and billions of dollars out of China. Never happened. We never got 10 cents from China. Billions and billions. They were so happy to see a rigged election. They might have helped it along, actually, but they were so happy. But, Sean, I'll tell you what, this is the greatest embarrassment that I've ever seen. This is, and you know it better than you do it.
My man's still saying rigged election, dude. You got to respect it. He is high off that copium, dude. I mean, he is so high off that fucking copium, dude.
Incredible job in covering it, and I appreciate it. The whole country appreciates it. This is the greatest embarrassment in the history of our country. There's never been, and let me tell you, we haven't stopped. This is not ending. Again, we have all of those thousands of Americans over there and others, and you're saying, how are they going to get? They have a Taliban ring around the airport. They said nobody else. Now, they're saying we'll negotiate, but do you really think, I mean, their history is that they're very brutal and they don't like to negotiate. That's their history. And Biden put us in this position. He should have gotten the civilians out first. Then he should have taken the military equipment. We have billions of dollars of brand new, beautiful equipment. Take the equipment out and then take the soldiers.
That's literally not how that works. Like, even I know that. Like, I wasn't the president. And I know that you're not, like, America has never taken out the equipment. Okay? That does not happen. They blow it up. Because the equipment is incredibly expensive to fucking ship back. America has never fucking airlifted their equipment back. Why do people hate Trump? I never know why. What? Because he's a fucking asshole, dude. What do you mean? He's like a brutal person. It's cheaper to buy more. It's better to buy more. You know, we're already paid for more anyway. The only fucking the only good thing about Trump is that he's just like a real petty bitch who loves drama.
Out. And frankly,
what about Blackhawks though? They can literally fly them back. What? Fly them back to America, dude? What kind of take is this, dude? Like there are some equipment that I'm sure they fucking fly back, but you make it seem like wait, not fly back to like America, but like fly to different bases if it's like close enough. But do you understand how expensive it would be to like fly a Black Hawk helicopter to a fucking base that's outside of Afghanistan? Even then. So what happens is some additional info. So what happens is, yes, U.S. Army to scrap $7 billion in equipment in Afghanistan. This is what happens. You go in there and you fucking in preparation for a complete exit from Afghanistan. By the way, this was in 2013. The U.S. military has destroyed more than 170 million pounds worth of military equipment. So you blow it up and you leave it in a state of disrepair. So you can't like repair it. You can't fly a Black Hawk to Germany? Exactly. Like, you can't do that. Fly to a Navy carrier? Yeah, dude. A Navy carrier that costs $3 million a day to fucking operate. Let's just move another Navy carrier, which doesn't have space, for a fucking Black Hawk. Like, dude, your comprehension of like how American imperialism works is so funny, dude. Yeah, bring a fucking Navy carrier into the goddamn desert, dude. Landlocked ass Afghanistan. But how did these guns get there in the first place? They shipped them in. It's useful to spend a fuckload of money shipping in weapons when they're new so you can use it on civilians and also the Taliban. Okay? It's no longer useful to you because there's new versions of that. And also on top of that, like, why the fuck would you ship back trash like it's shot at? It's secondhand. This guy's opinion is literally based off video game logic. Oh, you mean you're talking to the chatters, right? Not me. Navy here. We definitely help store, extract vehicles, aircraft equipment. Yeah, if there's new fucking things or if there's shit that hasn't been shot up. But you're not going to fucking extract Humvees, dude. Why would you do that? And even some like older equipment. Chatter is concerned for the Black Hawk. Don't worry, brother. they'll get good use out of that.
I said, take the soldiers out, but before you leave, blow up all the forts, because we built these forts that are being now used.
Wait. On the one hand, he shit on the Afghans for not getting paid. On the other hand, he's saying we should blow up the forts? So where are the Afghan security forces supposed to fight out of?
Used by the enemy. It's
They
not
left
even
everything.
believable.
You know, it's interesting because I'm watching both Russia and China race in, and they want to recognize the Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan almost immediately. You know, it's funny. I mentioned to you that I had numerous sources that said that apparently a lot of people are on your phone calls. I know everyone wanted to release the Ukraine call. They said what we really need to do is release the calls between President Trump and the head of the Taliban. And maybe while we're at it, we can release some of the calls with President Trump and President Xi, because America might be shocked to hear how strong you were and forceful you were in a lot of these conversations.
Walk, 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 walk.
Which leads me to a question about what's going on with China and Russia. They're both arming Iran, putting that aside. But China in particular has threatened our military bases, Japan's military bases. They lectured our country in front of our Secretary of State, not Mike Pompeo, Blinken, in Anchorage about human rights, of all things, after COVID. And then the communist Chinese are saying we need to beg for permission to land in Taiwan. And their propaganda newspaper is suggesting that America won't lift a finger to help our ally Taiwan if, in fact, they have reunification, which we both means they want to take over Taiwan. And I'm not sure. I disagree with that assessment. I don't believe Joe Biden would lift a finger to help Taiwan. Your thoughts on the new aggressive nature of China?
Well, I had a great relationship with President Xi, a really great relationship. We got along great until COVID.
He's about to be like, Taiwan who? I don't know her. Guess what? You mean China? I have a great relationship with President Xi.
Even though I taxed the hell out of them through the tariffs, they weren't happy. But I had a very good relationship. And we met at Mar-a-Lago. And I told him very strongly, do not do anything having to do with Taiwan. Just don't do it. And I said it much stronger than that. I'm not going to say.
Crap. Oh, I didn't realize the United States recognized Taiwan. Since when? I mean, he was the president. If he wanted to fucking exert. That's always the funniest part when, like, conservatives try to be like, conservatives will engage in, like, China posturing. But the reality is that, like, our neoliberal oligarchs, our elites are, of course, they love China. They do a lot of business with China. So the reality is that, like, no matter what these guys are, these idiots are saying, it literally doesn't matter. What matters is someone like Michael Bloomberg, who will openly state, based Dengist, ex-New York mayor, ex-Republican, ex-Democrat, Michael Bloomberg. They don't give a fuck about, like, genuinely agitating against China. They're just using that as, like, political posturing domestically. They don't, like, ultimately, all of our business is still incredibly reliant on China.
Say exactly how, but it was said very strongly. This wasn't a call. This was sitting in a sofa at Mar-a-Lago with a meeting that was supposed to last 15 minutes before we went on to various other things within, with our different people. But it lasted for hours. We got along great. The first half hour I said, do not do anything having to do with Taiwan. I know you want to. Do not do it. Anyway, then the election gets rigged, and we end up with a different president. And what happens? There are bombers now last week 28 bombers flying over Taiwan. And this happened a week after the election. They were...
Oh, yeah, there's military exercises, right?
All of a sudden, I think bad things are going to happen with respect to Taiwan because they don't respect our leadership and they no longer respect our country. And that's a really bad thing. China does not respect us any longer. And they had more respect for us just 7 months ago than they ever had for this country.
Let me ask you about the border was one of your big issues, sir. You had put in place the Stay in Mexico policy. You built over 500 miles of border wall. You ended catch and release. Okay, well, now the Stay in Mexico policy is gone.
Oh, my God. Every time there's, like, dead air, you are just, you just keep hearing the guac, 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 guac over and over again. It's wild that Sean Hannity can consider this anything but a straight suck. It's just like, sir, your cock is large. It's bulbous. It's veiny. It's vascular. It's great. Perfectly shaped. I love it. I love stroking it. I just wanted to tell you, sir, you are the greatest thing that's ever happened. You are my alpha and my omega. Okay, sir? Please, insert thy cock. It's so good. Sir, I love you. You are the best. It's hot boy summer in Afghanistan. Oh, God, what the fuck? No.
Summer in Afghanistan. So it's hot boy summer in Afghanistan, and the Taliban is having the time of their life.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you fucking kidding? Oh, my God. The amount of content that the Taliban have given us over the course of this past fucking, like, 3-day excursion is so crazy. You are biased the other way, though. You do the same thing. You think I suck off Joe Biden? Are you fucking delusional, dude? Were you not here 3.5 minutes ago when I was talking about how he's literally locked away in a fucking vat somewhere, being pumped adrenochrome into his body?
The wall construction has ended, and it's no longer catch and release. It's process and release. In the middle of a pandemic, you've seen the cages that are overcrowded with all of these illegal immigrants, a high rate of COVID positivity. There's no vaccine mandates, vaccine passports, mask mandates for illegal immigrants that many states are putting and burdening American people with. And those people are then being dispersed all over the country. Wow. A big change that 7 months could make, and now it's going to be millions of people. What was your reaction? What is your reaction?
I've never seen anything like what was happening and what is happening now at our southern border. All he had to do is nothing. We had the greatest remain in Mexico. People weren't even allowed into our country, and we won that in the courts. It was very tough. The wall.
All we had to do is nothing.
Was almost completed. It could have been built in another month. They delayed me 2.5 years when Congress, the Democrats in Congress, sued me. We never had a border anywhere like it. And then almost immediately they ended these policies. Catch and release. You catch them and release them into our country instead of catching them and bringing them back to their country. And many of these people are stone cold and very hard convicts and prisoners. They're very tough. I mean, literally.
No, they're not.
As I said, they are emptying their jails, and not just the 3 countries, not just Honduras.
That's pretty funny because, like, this is literally what the Turks are saying about Afghanistan right now. That's why they're emptying their jails and sending them here. It's like, no, they're not. First of all, why would they empty their jails, you fucking idiot? I mean, the Taliban is a different situation, obviously, but, like, why? Why would a fucking hardened rapist criminal that is leaving the jail be like, all right, I guess I'm going to America now? Like, how do you motivate them to come to America? There's no guarantee that they're going to get in. They would just literally go and do if they're, unstoppable forces of rape and murder, They would just go back and do the rape and murder in their hometowns where it's much easier to do the rape and murder. It makes no fucking sense. You just literally have to ask this question, like why? How? They're opening up their jails? Like, why would any government risk opening up their fucking jails with no guarantee that prisoners that they've opened up from their jails are going to come to America? The possibility of freedom? Bitch, what do you mean the possibility of freedom is given to them in that literal fucking hypothetical that Trump totally pulled out of his ass? It's called opening up the jails. That's it. That's step one. There is no step two. There's no guarantee that you can get into America. So why would you fucking walk all the way to America? You just do crime if you can't stop doing crime. You just do it in your country. America, dude, yeah. I love coming to the fucking... I love leaving the country where they've supposedly abolished prisons and going to the country that has, you know, the highest jailed population, both in totality and per capita. Dude, if you fucking link this one more time to me, I'm just gonna fucking yeet you for... you get a 1 day off, you're gonna get a fucking full week off, okay?
Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador.
I'm in the middle of doing commentary. You're like, dude, oh my God, look at this link. It's like, no, I'm not going to look at this link. Yeah.
Many countries are coming in and they're emptying out their prisons and letting them come into our country. And they're walking in caravans and other ways. What's happening? So I never saw anything so stupid in my life until the last few days with Afghanistan. That blows the stupidity of the southern border away. What happened and what is happening in Afghanistan is unbelievable. And we're being set up by very tough people that are very great negotiators. I'll tell you what, they're great, automatically great negotiators. They've been fighting for 1,000 years, and everything about them they negotiate. We're being set up. They have all of those people, and in a certain way, I guarantee you, they consider them to be hostages. And let's see what happens over the coming weeks. But this is not a story that just ended today or yesterday. This is a story that's going to go on for a long time, and it could be a very, very bad ending.
We have Americans caught behind enemy lines right now, and we were told this could never happen, and it happened. Let me ask you about energy. One of the reasons I had, for many years, been an advocate of energy independence, because what happens in the...
Bro, Trump is literally sucked off the Taliban in this interview harder than Sean Hannity has sucked off Donald Trump. Like, he has not stopped sucking off the Taliban. They're so good. Have you seen how hot they are? Some of them, they got great drip. At first I thought, what is that, a dress? I don't understand it. And then I realized, you know what? I would wear that too. You know, I'd have my balls breathing against the wind underneath. They like to wear slides too. I hate wearing shoes. They wear slides all the time. And then they're using American weapons. They look so sexy, so hot. The chiseled abs and the sun-kissed skin, believe me. And then they wear the guy liner. Let me tell you, the guy liner, oh my God, they are so sexy, the Taliban. Best negotiators, sexiest fighters. I mean, our generals, they're like from Central Casting. But the Taliban, they're so hot. They're hot, hot, hot.
The Straits of Hormuz and in the Middle East are not really that important. You accomplished something in your administration. I don't think you got a lot of credit for it, but you made America energy independent for the first time in 75 years. I don't think in the last months of your administration you imported a single barrel of oil from Saudi Arabia, for example,
Zero.
not one. And now we just had in the last 2 weeks, Joe Biden begging OPEC to increase production because it still is the lifeblood of the world's economy. My question is, with gas up $1.30 a gallon, this is now a new tax on the American people. That means the cost of delivering every single product in every grocery store, drugstore, every Homes Depot and Lowe's is costing Americans more, and inflation on top of it at 5.4%, a 15-year high. Your reaction to that aspect of the economy alone?
So energy independence was one of my greatest achievements, I thought. I think the vaccine, energy independence, what we did on the border,
Frankly, Afghanistan would have been great. We would have been out, and we would have been out with dignity and with pride, and it would have worked out great. None of this stuff going. This, though, again, it's not the concept of leaving. It's the way they withdrew. It was not even possible to believe. But gasoline, as you know, was $1.87 when I was leaving office. And now it's going to be up to over $5 very soon. And they're talking to OPEC. I know the OPEC people very well. You talk about negotiators, they're killing us. And what you didn't say is that Biden failed with OPEC. They told him no on the cutbacks. They failed with OPEC. To think that we're back to negotiating with OPEC, that's how we got into the Middle East years ago, because we needed the energy, and we went into the Middle East and would protect countries because we needed the energy. We didn't have to do that anymore. We were energy independent, and now those wells are shut down and those jobs are gone, and Keystone is, and its numbers 48,000 jobs, not 8,000 jobs. Those people, and they lied in the campaign because Biden never talked about closing up Keystone. He said, oh, well, we'll look at it. They were lying because it was almost the first day that.
Stop saying based. He says shit like this all the time. Like, he literally, dude, that is like, that's at the heart of Trump's success. His, like, incredibly successful populist rhetoric is that he says truths that other American elites, whether they're Republican or Democrat, won't say. We went there for oil. We went there for oil. We needed oil. That's why we went in. Like, that's a great fucking way to, you know, have a bunch of people's ears perk up. Bro, this guy has only said, stop projecting, dumbass. This is, look at this. Look. This is why Ludwig cuts you out of his thumbnails. Since 422. Periodically. You all right, dude? Are you okay? Is your brain all right? Hey, don't make me ban you in Ludwig's chat, motherfucker. I will do it. Especially because if I ban you, you won't be able to subscribe. And if you can't subscribe, you will have to see the ads at the top of the hour. Yeah, that's right. Every time I run an ad at the top of the hour for 60 seconds, you will be forced to watch it. Now, of course, there's a way that you don't have to watch those ads. And that way is by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Okay. You get to avoid the ads and have an ad-free broadcasting experience. You can also use an ad block or a VPN. I'm going to fucking ban this guy before he actually. I'm going to ban this guy. Damn, dude. Can I imagine what kind of a basement dweller you are? Yeah, I'm going to ban him before he subscribes, so now he has to watch the ad. But, yeah, you can use an ad block or a VPN. Get fucked. But the Twitch Prime is free. Here's the ad now.
They closed up Keystone, and those workers are devastated. And the head of the union, they all support me, but the head of the union supported Biden, and they ought to throw him the hell out because he was worthless, because look what happened. But they lied about so many things. They lied about energy. They lied about Keystone. They lied about the military. They lied about so much. Our country is in such trouble,
Mr. President, you touched on Russia. I want to go back to it because we saw these massive cyber attacks in their energy grid and also our food line, especially with our meats in this country. And then we also witnessed, and you referenced it earlier in the interview, the waiver that you prevented Vladimir Putin from getting, which allowed him to build the pipeline that is literally the lifeblood of the economy of our allies in Western Europe, while simultaneously cutting out the Keystone XL pipeline, high-paying career jobs for Americans. And I've got to ask, because if it was you or your sons, and let's see, what do they have in common? Russia, Hunter Biden got a lot of money. China, they didn't do a deal with Goldman Sachs. They didn't do a deal with Deutsche Bank. They did a deal with Hunter Biden, $1.5 billion, with the Bank of China. And again, Joe Biden has said nothing to threats against our military or, quote, reunification threats with Taiwan, or you must get permission to land an airplane in Taiwan, which I never thought would happen, or get lectured on human rights. My question then is, if the last name was Trump and your sons were making money in China, Russia, Kazakhstan.
Bro, the only reason why his son-in-law and also his daughter did actually make money in China, but the only reason why the other two incompetent dipshits didn't make money in China is because they suck. And the only reason why his like true son, Jared Kushner, you know, his son-in-law, actually was able to, again, not make money in China is because he was a fucking failure. He literally used his connections in the government to try to sell the 666 Fifth Avenue or whatever shitty ass building to Chinese developers. They routinely actually tried to cut deals with China by using their government access.
Ukraine. If your sons lied on a gun application.
You know what's funny? I do the same thing that Sean Hannity does. Like, not the, you know, the sucking of pee-pee, but I do the...
And through that gun.
I do the same thing that Sean Hannity does, where I will also ask a question for like 7.5 minutes whenever I have a guest on. But I'm like, whenever I do that, I'm just trying to like offer context and like, you know, give additional feedback and information. Sean uses all 5 of those minutes to suck off Trump's pee-pee and then turn around with like the last question and then turn around and pose a question where he will just be like, why are you the greatest president that's ever existed in the history of mankind?
In a garbage basket or waste basket. If your sons were on video with smoking crack and with hookers, would the question not logically become, do you believe these countries have compromising materials, potentially, the very thing, you know, remember Adam Schiff, compromising materials, on Trump when they didn't have it and he was being scammed. Do you see any potential for compromise here? Because it doesn't make sense to me to give Putin a waiver.
So this story, the new tape.
I'm sorry, I got to run that back. Yeah, he did an accent. We have to.
Materials. In materials, potentially, the very thing, you know, remember Adam Schiff, compromising materials.
I have. Okay, one more time? Should we do one more time? One more time.
In materials, potentially, the very thing, you know, remember Adam Schiff, compromising materials. When they didn't have it and he was being scammed. Do you see any potential for compromising materials? Compromising materials. Compromising materials. Compromising materials.
Okay, dude. I mean, that's good shit. You motherfuckers really don't deserve me. You know that? A lot of you talk so much shit nonstop. Like, me. Your accents are so bad. Can you imagine if I was doing this kind of Slavophobia? Like, he's supposed to try to make it sound like he's a Slav, and instead he sounds Italian, dude.
On Trump, when they didn't have it and he was being scammed, do you see any potential for compromise here? Because it doesn't make sense to me to give Putin a waiver.
So this story, the new tape that just came out 2 days ago, has not been on any mainstream media at all. It was on your show and a couple of shows, but no mainstream. It wasn't on NBC or CBS or ABC. It wasn't on CNN. It wasn't on any. It's Hunter Biden. It's the worst thing I've seen. You can't even imagine this.
And look, I hope families live well. But what they're doing is they're doing political persecutions with their prosecutors, whether they're local or federal. And our people didn't do that. The Republicans don't do it to anywhere. I mean, it's like a different world. They use prosecutors for persecution. And it's happening. And our country is angry about it, and they see it. But what's going on with Hunter and China and Russia and all of that, I mean, they go after people for tiny little things. And here's somebody that took vast amounts of money out of China and out of Ukraine and out of Russia, $3.5 million from the mayor's wife, and Chris Wallace wouldn't let me talk about that during a debate. He wouldn't even let me bring it up. Well, that has nothing to do. I said, it has a lot to do with it. But it's a very sad period of time for our country. Everything's going bad. We have inflation. The economy's going to go to hell. We have inflation like we haven't seen in a long time. I think it's much worse if you look just at energy. And when energy goes up, everything goes up because it's all about energy. Everything goes up. But you look at the price of food where it's being doubled and tripled in some cases. We're going to have inflation that's good. And I remember with Jimmy Carter, and the good thing is for Jimmy is that Jimmy's looking like a much better president right now because you always have to have comparisons. But I remember with Jimmy Carter, with the big inflation, the prime rate went to 21%, and the country came to a halt, worse than a halt. Well, I'll tell you, we better get our act together. That's all I can say. You look at what's going on with our economy and with inflation and so many other things. Anwar in Alaska, biggest drilling site in the world. I got it open. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it for 70. They've been trying for 60, 70 years. I got it done. And it was just terminated. The biggest site in the world. Probably bigger than Saudi Arabia in terms of oil. I got it done, and they just terminated it. And the people of Alaska are very upset, okay? They are very upset with their Senator Murkowski and others. But here's the greatest thing, and they ended it. So we had energy independence, and now we don't.
Instead of begging OPEC, Governor Abbott, and we're praying for him tonight. I know that he announced that he had COVID today, a breakthrough.
Fake news, of course. I mean, COVID, it's not that big of a deal.
Another breakthrough case. Instead of begging OPEC, why don't we just go back to doing what was working for you? Instead of allowing millions of people into this country with a high rate of COVID positive.
No, Governor Greg Abbott is not going to die. He has access to fucking Regeneron treatment. He's just not going to die. Also, evil people never die. So, you know. What is happening with this fucking thing, dude? Evil people simply do not die.
Positivity in the middle of pandemic and then dispersing them all around the country. Why don't we go back to the stay in Mexico policy, the border wall building, and end process and release and protect our borders? I mean, they seem to be things that could be simply resolved.
Yeah. Well, nothing simple. You know, the things we won on the border were won through courts. It took a long time, and then all of a sudden they gave them up. We had to make deals with Mexico. The president of Mexico is a great guy. We're very friendly, and we did a deal. I had 28,000 soldiers paid for by Mexico. His soldiers
on the border. Do you really believe COVID is fake? Real question? No, dude.
Not letting people in. And we didn't pay anything. I promised not to tariff his cars during this period, but that's okay, whatever it takes. But we didn't have people coming in during the construction of the wall. And the wall worked. I mean, we built almost 500 miles. They could finish it in a month. Now they're paying billions of dollars not to finish the wall. It's not even believable. And the contractors that haven't been, I mean, they're just having a field day. But when you look at all of this stupidity, I don't think our country can take it, and I don't think our people can take it either.
Let me ask you, the American people now are watching, what will be a 25 to 30-year record of illegal immigrants coming into the country when you had set a 25-year low of illegal immigrants coming into the country. The American people now, many are angry about mask mandates, vaccine passports, but none of these restrictions are being applied to people that are not respecting our laws, our borders.
Bro, What are you saying? Like, well, I don't understand. Like, that's not even true. And you can't literally argue on the one hand that there should be no mask mandates or vax mandates and then be like, immigrants need to get vaccinated. You're like, doesn't that literally destroy the argument? Like, they should, by the way. I do agree that immigrants coming into the country should be vaccinated. Okay, absolutely, 100%. I'm totally on board with that. But, like, on the one hand, you're like, vaccines don't work. They're scary. Don't do it. What is happening? What the fuck is happening here?
Borders and our sovereignty. How do you explain that? And do you support the restrictions on Americans but not illegal immigrants?
Yeah. First of all, on the border, it's not 25 years. It's the worst in history. It's not the worst in 25 years. We've never had a situation where massive caravans of people are pouring into our country. So
Donald Trump should ask him what a breakthrough case means. Like, why do you specify what a breakthrough case is? Does your audience understand the difference between a breakthrough case and like a regular COVID case? No. Just fucking drop that in there and move on. Why specify a breakthrough COVID case when you're talking about Governor Greg Abbott? Breakthrough, as in it broke through the immunity shield that the vaccine offers.
So it's the worst ever. As far as the vaccine, I'm very proud of it. I pushed the FDA like they've never been pushed. They don't like me too much. I'm not so sure I like them. Very bureaucratic. But I got them to approve a great vaccine, 3 of them, in a period of less than 9 months. I was told by Fauci and everybody else it would take 3 to 5 years and probably 5, and it probably won't even happen. And I got it done in less than 9 months. So I consider it a great achievement. I actually think that if we didn't get it done, worldwide, you would have another Spanish flu, which killed almost 100 million people, according to...
Wait, hold on. So, wait. So COVID was real? Wait, what the fuck? So COVID was deadly. Bro, this motherfucker literally got COVID and was still like, it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. And now that the vaccines are out, he's like, I made the vaccines. I made them myself. Which I have no problem with. I'm glad he's saying this. I will admit. I will admit that this is actually a good-ass thing to say. I don't give a fuck if he literally says, like, I spat in every vaccine vial. You know, I put a little piece of my cum in it. Like, whatever gets the stands going to go out and, like, actually fucking get the vaccine. Which they won't. They boo him even when he talks about the vaccine.
To history, 50 to 100. They don't even know. But I would...
Wait, why is Sean Hannity trying to fucking stop him?
I would love people to take the vaccine. In the meantime, wear your mask if you want. But, again, you want your freedoms. You have to have your freedoms.
Let me, I know the obvious question as we head with the last minute of the program available is... Are you considering a run again in 2024? I'll let you answer it any way you want, but I'll go back to our original question. Now that we have all these Americans behind enemy lines, do you have, in the 45 seconds we have left, what?
Someone in the chat, before we get to hear this, someone in the chat literally said Pfizer and Moderna are not a part of Operation Warp Speed. And I feel like that's like the peak of liberalism, where you just start denying like very obvious truths just because it's like Donald Trump. Why do you think we have like half of the world's Pfizer and Moderna supplies when everyone else is using AstraZeneca, Sinovac, and other vaccines? It's because they were absolutely a part of fucking Operation Warp Speed. That was it. They were.
What would you do now to help with that specific situation?
So because the campaign finance laws are extremely complicated and unbelievably stupid, I'm actually not allowed to answer that question. Can you believe it? I'd love to answer it. But let me put it this way. I think you'll be...
Chat. We did give money to Pfizer as a part of Operation Warp Speed. Just because BioNTech, a German company, came up with the vaccine doesn't mean that it wasn't a part of the fucking operation. Okay? Of course we did. We gave them a fuckload of money. BioNTech is a German company that actually created the mRNA COVID vaccine. Actually, it's a German-Turk couple, husband and wife, scientists, that came up with it. But we gave a fuckload of money to Pfizer so that we could, you know, secure some of that for ourselves. Okay?
Be happy, and I think a lot of our friends will be very happy, but
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
got it
actually
before the
allowed to
Germans
answer
did,
it.
bro.
It makes it very difficult if I do. So, people, you're going to be happy because I love this country and I hate to see what's happening
Would
to
you
it.
be willing
As
to
far
get
as
on
if
the
you look at-
phone with the people that you gave very harsh words to and talk to them on behalf of the Americans that are behind enemy lines tonight? We have 15 seconds.
Well, I would, but, you know, they're not into words, they're into strength. And the strength is the president because he controls, you know, I rebuilt the military. We had an obsolete military. We had old jets. We had 45-year-old jets. We rebuilt this military and created Space Force. But the answer is I'd like to help, but you have to do it through the strength of the president's office. And
Oh my God, they're
Biden
playing
has
him out.
dissipated that strength. We are no longer respected.
We're out of time, sir. Thank you for your time. We'll have you back soon. We appreciate you being with us. Laura is going to have a great show next. Don't miss it. Straight ahead.
Bro, Trump got played off, dude. That's crazy. We gave money to Pfizer. The money that Pfizer got was conditional on FDA approval. We gave money to Moderna for R&D. We did not give money to Pfizer that was... We did not give money to Pfizer that was like actually a part of their R&D process, but it was more so a promise that they were going to get money on FDA approval. Okay? That's the difference. But it was still that funding was still a part of Operation Warp Speed. I don't give a fuck that like Pfizer spokesmen are saying, "Oh, we're actually distancing ourselves from the Trump administration." Yeah, we gave them money to buy the fucking vaccines. Sometimes you give off anti-vax vibes, bro. What? Yeah, we gave them guaranteed purchase orders if approved, which is why we have so many fucking vaccines. On July 22nd, Operation Warp Speed placed an advanced purchase order of $2 billion with Pfizer to manufacture 100 million doses of a COVID-19 vaccine for the use in the United States when the vaccine was shown to be safe, effective, licensed, and authorized by the FDA. On December 23rd, the Trump administration announced that he had ordered another 200 million doses from Pfizer. I literally stopped sending me the New York Times article. I know what they're talking about. I know what the article contains. I'm telling you. I'm literally telling you. Well, whatever did it, the U.S. got almost all of Moderna's early production, but not Pfizer's. No, we got a fuckload of Pfizer's early production, too. What are you talking about? Remember that cringe anti-vax music video you showed? It unironically made me get vaxxed. I got my second dose today. Hell yeah, dude. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla said he decided against taking funding from the U.S. government's Operation Warp Speed for development of the vaccine because I wanted to liberate our scientists from any bureaucracy that comes with having the reports and agree how we are going to spend money in parallel or together. Pfizer did enter an agreement with the U.S. for eventual distribution of the vaccine. Dude, I'm telling you. It's literally like they still got a fucking fat contract from the American government, which is what everyone else did as well. Like, it's literally semantics. The argument that you're making right now is semantics. And also remember, you said Pfizer and Moderna. They took selective funding because you can't claim R&D tax credits on funded research. How many Americans disinformed? I don't want to believe science. Love from Denmark. Dude, a lot of fucking dumbasses, dude. It's really sad. Why are you so against the Democrats? Genuine question. I'm a fucking conservative, dude. NS Contact would like to check your vibe. Dude, you guys are bringing up stuff that I talked about today. I said fuck NS Contact too earlier today on the podcast. Dude, there's so much content on the podcast. I'm really excited for you guys to see it. Like, actually excited for it. They finally started offering $100 to get vaxxed, and now all my unvaxxed coworkers are getting vaxxed. Wait, really? That's awesome. All right, let's do fucking LSF, dude. The Germa 985 Dollhouse stream has started. The tweet is literally unavailable. What was that? Podcast drops tomorrow. Chat makes Germa suddenly get a shower.
There's so much water over here. What am I doing? Oh my. Look over there, don't look. Look over there. Don't look over here. Don't look over here. In fact, get out of the room.
That's gonna cost you extra.
No, get. No, don't.
You hate that people that have waited this long are getting rewarded for waiting for the vaccine? I don't care. I don't care. I literally don't care. As long as they get vaxxed up, I don't care. Forsen goes live by accident.
And give you exactly what you want. Do you want it? Say yes.
Yeah.
This is precisely the worst thing I've ever seen on the Forsen stream. Germa dies.
I can't do that. I'm so stressed. I'm not do. Oh, I can't.
Oh my god, dude. He's such a psycho. How did he do all this? Henry from Henry's Kitchen makes his first appearance on Twitch.
Hi. I want to get on.
Oh, fuck. Before I go to LSF, here is where's the Marjorie? Where's the margarine? Where's Marjorie Titan Green, chat? Give me that fucking link, please. She's like saying Joe Biden's a piece of shit or something. Is the vaccine even effective against the new Delta variant? USA again had more than 150 cases today. Yeah, dude, 99% are fucking... Here's the problem, dude. People get the Delta variant because it has a higher viral load. But when they're fucking vaccinated, they don't go to the hospital. Whereas people that... Oh, here it is. Whereas people that fucking don't get the goddamn vaccine get hospitalized.
Joe Biden, you're not a president. You're a piece of shit. Joe Biden, you're not a president. You're a piece of shit.
She's fucking juiced up, dude. God, she is horrible.
On your channel, how's it going?
Hello, we're chilling, Henry.
Do you see me okay?
Yes, you look great. I love the apron.
Awesome.
M. Kansari,
Awesome. Well,
14.
I'm on your channel right now.
Yes. Do you see
And,
everything? Do you see the chat? Do you see their emotes?
Yeah,
They're very excited.
Oh, awesome.
Israel News said 90% of the people in the hospital with COVID were vaxxed. Bro, Israel's COVID rate, Israel's vaccination rate is like literally fucking like 85%. What are you talking about? Yeah, if 100% of the population was vaccinated and there was still like a case where there could be breakthroughs, then yeah, there would be 100% of the people in the hospital would probably be vaccinated. And even then, that was a fucking lie. I don't believe that. I don't believe that like Israel 90% was like hospitalized. Hey, if so, the vaccination rate is 85%, then how are 90% of the cases with people with vaccines? Because the overwhelming majority, if not nearly the entirety of the adult population in Israel is fucking vaccinated. Therefore, obviously, there are a significantly larger percentage of people that are vaccinated, making it more likely. Why do you not understand how fucking math works? Oh my fucking Lord. Like, you just don't understand, dude. I don't know how to describe it, dude. I do not know how to describe it. It's called baseline bias. Yeah. Every anti-vaxxer is a dumb fucking moron who doesn't understand stats at all. It's not even true. The 90% number isn't even true, dude. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. It's so strange. There'll be like fucking, in places like Israel, there'll be like 11 people that got COVID. And then they'll be like, oh my God, Israel's having a massive fucking breakthrough of cases. Like, holy shit, that's crazy. It's like, how many people got COVID? 11. It's like when Australia, when the news media would cover Australia, they would be like, Australia is having a breakthrough of like, or a surge of COVID cases. And it would be like, literally, and I shit you not, it was like 6 people. Yeah, because last week there were 0 people. So yes, you know, there was 1 person. If there's 1 person with COVID, and now there's 6 people with COVID, that's a gigantic fucking increase of people with COVID. Yes, you can lie about math. You can very easily hide the truth in statistics. Last week in Israel, we had 105 deaths. 2 were fully vaccinated. 2. 2. Deaths recorded overnight. What percentage is it? Active cases are at 55,000. Number of serious patients grew by 28 since midnight. We reached 89 ventilators. Out of Israel's population, 9.3. Age 50 and up. Booster shots. Okay, this sucks. Why aren't they fucking... Wait, what? This TikToker filmed a fake call with Trump while calling him T-Daddy and decided to post it publicly. What the fuck? That's awesome.
Hi, President Trump. Okay, I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to pretend like you're a normal person. I'm not going to scream. Hi, so, T-Daddy, when are you coming back to the White House? Yeah.
Don't want to get into the nitty-gritty? No, I do want to get into the nitty-gritty. Hold on, I'm going to get back to it.
That's just what we call you. Oh, soon? Okay, let me...
That article did not show the difference between, like, or how many people were fucking unvaccinated versus vaccinated, okay? That was the problem. The claim is newest Israeli data on COVID-19 infections indicated complete vaccine failure on every level. AP's assessment, missing context. The claim ignores the fact that Israel is only a fraction of the COVID-19 case that it had in January before vaccines were widespread. Furthermore, the majority of adults in Israel are not vaccinated with 2 Pfizer shots. No vaccine is perfect at preventing breakthrough cases. Israel was one of the first countries to vaccinate a huge swath of its population against COVID-19. Experts say the country's high vaccination rates are keeping case numbers down and reducing hospitalizations and deaths, even as the Delta variant is provoking an uptick in infections. Israel documented 1,118 new cases in July 21st, which is less than a tenth of the 11,000 cases the country had at its peak on January 27th before the vaccines were widespread. The vast majority of new cases in the past month have only shown mild symptoms, but at least 73 people had serious cases of COVID-19. Aaron Segal, a scientist at Israel's Weizmann Institute of Science checks COVID-19 data, tweeted that the percent of COVID-19 patients who became critically ill now decreased to 1.6% compared to the 4% during a winter spike before the vaccines were available. As of Sunday, 56.3% of the new cases in Israel were among vaccinated people. So if the fucking majority of the fucking Israeli population is vaccinated, and the majority of the new cases are amongst unvaccinated, that still means that, like, yeah, motherfucker said 90%, by the way. The overwhelming majority of the Israeli population is vaccinated, especially adults. And yet only 56% of the new cases were among vaccinated. What percentage, though, which is what's important, what percentage of the people are actually in the fucking hospital that are vaccinated? Israel's population, more than 60% are fully vaccinated. More than 80%. The country has had the swiftest vaccine. By February, 80% of those over 60 had received both shots. Since the start of the pandemic, experts have pointed out the vaccines are not 100% effective. What the fuck? Why won't they say what the... Dude. Okay. What is incredibly fucking annoying is that the vaccines, and I'm going to get back to the LSF thing in a second. If the vaccine is not effective, or if the vaccine is less effective at, like, preventing you from getting COVID because of the Delta variant, but it's still very effective at, like, stopping hospitalizations from occurring, then why the fuck are they not showing that in every article? Like, I feel like they participate in the vaccine hesitancy argument when they don't mention the incredibly important fact that, like, the vaccine is preventing people from getting hospitalized or having massive fucking cases. The unvaccinated Israeli elderly are 8 times more likely to experience a severe case of COVID-19 than their immunized counterparts. As of August 16, the ministry recorded 159 severe COVID-19 cases per 100,000 people among the unvaccinated over the age of 60, compared to the 20 per 100,000 among the fully vaccinated. For those under the age of 60, the rate of severe illness among the unvaccinated stood at 2.4 cases per 1,000, 2.7 times more, 3 times more likely than those who are fully vaccinated. You are 3 times more likely to get severe illness Three times more likely to get severe COVID symptoms when you are fucking vaccinated or when you're not vaccinated than if you were vaccinated. Sorry. Vaccine doubters strain fixation with Israel. I mean, I do know why. It's because they fucking, it's because, like, they don't understand it. They don't understand the number. And basically, they don't understand simple fucking mathematics. And the media is not doing a good enough job describing the fucking issue. Incredibly helpful summary. There's a high vaccination rate in the country. Nearly all 80%, nearly 80% of all residents over the age of 12? That's not true. Age disparity in vaccinations, including nearly all older people being vaccinated, 90% of residents 50 years, over the age of 50 years. The vast majority of unvaccinated being younger people, 85% of the vaccinated under 50. Older people are orders of magnitude more likely to be hospitalized with a respiratory virus than young people. Is it okay for people under the age of 18 to get the vaccine? Yes. Yeah, see, okay, this is a great example. According to the Israel COVID dashboard from today, 600 severe cases, right? Over the age of 60, 156 people are not vaccinated, but 278 people over the age of 60 are fully vaccinated. Why is it that there are more fully vaccinated people that are hospitalized or have severe cases of COVID than unvaccinated? Because over the age of 60, 90% of the population is vaccinated. That's the point. You understand? So if you don't comprehend that, you're like, well, more people that are vaccinated than unvaccinated are having severe symptoms from COVID. That must mean the vaccine's not working. It's like, dude, no. If 100% of the vaccinate, it's 1 to 2 when the vaccination is 4 to 1. Yeah. If 100% of the if 99% of the over 60 age group was vaccinated, and some people still got severe illness or severe symptoms, then 99% of the population is vaccinated over the age of 60. So of course there's going to be an overwhelming majority of people, nearly all of the people in the country that are over the age of 60 are fucking vaccinated. Oh my God, what is this? Jordan Peterson pornography? Oh, this is going to be great. Okay, we got to do this. Let me go back to LSF, though. We'll do the Jordan Peterson after LSF. Henry's advice to people with a peanut allergy.
I can really feel the peanut. I can feel the peanut paste.
Oh, good. And you've got the crunchy kind, so that's going to add a whole different texture.
Now, would you recommend this to someone with, let's say, peanut allergy?
Yeah, I think I probably would.
Vaxxers just dig their hole even deeper, and you are proving it, Azan? Please stop. He admitted, why take the vaccine then? Dude, if you don't understand how fucking mathematics works, I don't know what to tell you. Okay? If 0% of people are if 0% of people are vaccinated, then 100% of the people in the hospital are going to be unvaccinated. If 100% of the people are vaccinated, then of course 100% of the people in the hospital are going to be vaccinated. Do you not understand that? So now reduce that number to 90%. Anything short of 90% of the population over the age of 60 are hospitalized for COVID means that vaccines have a really fucking high efficacy rate. I agree with you, but you're the last person that understands how math works. I'm a dumb himbo. And even then, like, I don't know how else to fucking describe it. I told you what the bias is in statistics. I told you everything. It doesn't matter. I literally cannot explain to people how mathematics works. I've drawn it before. I've actually drawn the fucking image for people to understand. Do you want me to do it again? My wife of 31 years told me I need to move out of the house since I won't take the jab. Okay, I don't care about that. I just, like, don't know how else to describe it to people. Fuck me. Okay, I'm
Let me
gonna
write
punish
this down
you.
because I have to tell the American people. Okay, you'll be back soon. The storm is upon us. You're still in charge, but you're letting Biden F up so people can see the truth. Oh, that makes sense. All right. Okay, so... Okay, tell the American people we got to keep fighting every day. Yep, okay. Perfect. They are so going to appreciate this. You have a great day. Oh, thank you. Bless your heart.
It's so sad. Here, dude. This is the last time I'm gonna do this, okay? The last fucking time I'm gonna do this. Okay. Are you ready for this? This is the entire country. Okay? This is the vaccinated population of the entire country. This is the unvaccinated population of the entire country. Okay? When you take a big slice of people, when you take like this slice, okay, that's this size of the unvaccinated population of people that got COVID, and you take that same size of the slice from this side, notice how this number is significantly smaller with respect to the rest of the population. Do you get it? Do you understand? It's still the same number. It's still the same size. I did a horrible job at drawing it. It's still the same fucking size. Even if it's split 50-50. Which is not. You literally drew Bob and Vajen. That's a wussy. Okay, stop. That diagram made me anti-vax. Literally, both times you've done this example, you've drawn a graph pussy. What this means is, even if it's like, 10 people that are unvaccinated and 10 people that are vaccinated that got COVID and are in the hospital, there's 20 people here. So that's half of the fucking population that is unvaccinated that's now in the hospital. But there is 90 people here. So that's only, or there's 100 people total. So 90 people here. So that means only fucking 10% of the population of the unvaxxed, or 10%, only 10% of the population that was vaccinated got COVID and went to the hospital. Okay? feel like I'm doing a worse job with this fucking graph than not. You know what I mean?
I think that the body is made of muscles that get stronger every time they're used. So when you think about all the muscles that are being used when you're having an allergic reaction, those muscles are getting stronger and stronger. But I'm not a scientist, so don't, or a doctor, so don't take my advice on medical things. You should always consult your doctor.
I can.
Arguing with anti-vaxxers is pointless. That's not true. Jesus Christ, dude.
Holy fucking shit! Dude, dude, I just fucking did it, dude.
Baba Booey. Baba Booey? Oh my god. Donator says Baba Booey. Germa gets a new bed. What the fuck? Wait. Dude, this is wild what he did. I mean, seriously, respect.
What? What? It looks very broken, from what I can tell. Hold on. Can I even go to work? I don't think I can even go to work if you wanted me to. I'm going out the window. I'm going out the window. You didn't close the window. I'm going out the window. Yeah, I'm going out.
I really respect him for doing it. I mean, this is like performance art, dude.
Oh my!
I really wish I hadn't said that right as he started peeing.
Using my hands. You know what? I don't even need to hold it. Well, I want to give the toilet a flush. Why don't we? Oh.
Damn, dude. Dudes with good pussy piss like fried chicken. What Bab City wishes to do with Simply.
So, what do you want to do in Texas? Well, I know one thing you want to do.
Why did you say that? You guys have never heard that? It's a meme, dude. You've never heard that? It's like, yes, meme. Oh, new chatters don't know. It's like a old, it's like a fucking old ass meme from this community as well. And I fucked it up anyway. What was it? Someone save me. Oh, is this it? Bitches with good pussy piss loud as fuck sound like they frying chicken. That's not even the best one. There's like better ones.
Do in Texas? Well, I know one thing you want to do.
Yep. Oh my god. I can't, dude. What the fuck is this?
Smash me.
Oh! Oh! God! Fuck!
That is too big.
Holy shit! I'm gonna... God!
So...
He's like playing Melee. Eurov's family visits Germa.
Who are they? Hey, hey, get no, off the bed. I don't want a cookie. Get that cookie away from me. I don't want a cookie. Fucking weirdos. That's hilarious. Hilarious. Get away from me. I don't want it.
This is the original clip that meme is from. Sauce chat knows what good pussy sounds like. Good pussy piss, loud as fuck, sound like... Woman with good pussy piss, loud as fuck, sound like they frying chicken. That is the worst thing anyone's ever said in my chat, dude. That is the worst. Oh God, I feel dirty that I took part in that. Wait, was it Angry Yeet? I want to see if they're still in here. Wait, nope, that's not. I didn't do it right. Good pussy piss, loud as fuck. Oh, Yeet. I wonder if they left. KegW, KegW. When's the last time they fucking wrote in here? 18 months. When is this? When is the date? Damn, dude, this motherfucker writes a lot when he's in the chat. Like non-stop. Oh my God. (8/18/2021). Oh, he's in here. Oh, he's in here right now. He's in here until 4. God damn, bro. It's hilarious. Hasan says it again 2 years later. America deserved 9/11 because we have gay people. America, dude, come on, dude. Thank God I'm like literally reading the quote from Dinesh D'Souza so that people aren't like, you know what I mean? Ban Ninjite? No, it's fine. So fuck's he wearing? Like one of those outfits someone wears to blend in perfectly with the room behind them and he stood in the wrong place? Damn, he just barely missed the savannah. It's a test to see how stupid he can dress and still get away with it. It's from Dan Flash. It's one of the lower end designs. Oh my God, dude. It's a Dan Flash's shirt, dude. I swear my grandfather has something like that. Being a clown is hard sometimes. Okay, here's the thing, dude. Here's the fucking thing, okay? Oh, there's a new version of Waiting for Hasan?
Waiting for Hasan. I heard he went to get his nails done. I hope he had a really fun
Jelly headquarters for the 10,000 bits. You are kind of dressed like a poorly rendered cyberpunk NP. It's even better than the original song. I mean, dude, it's Lily, dude. It's motherfucking Lily Peachy. Are you kidding me? Of course, she's incredible. Once we men are over 30, we have to mature in the way we dress. It's time, Hossie. Dude, I don't get it. Like, I'm dressed like a grandpa. I don't know why the fuck people are giving me, grilling me for this. Like, when I dress, you guys say I dress too young. So when I dress like I'm a fucking bowler from like 1950s, then I'm like, I'm dressing too old, but it's still bad. Kevin Abstract wants you to watch his new video on stream. What's the new video?
I didn't. That's okay. Oh man. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
Drinking alcohol, man.
I didn't. That's okay.
Kevin's new song? What is it? Where is it? Where can I see it? Am I gonna get fucking DMCA'd? In 4 minutes? Are you guys memeing? Does he actually want us to listen to this? I don't know why. You look like you just started selling coke, making it big in Miami. Yeah. Hazan, he told us to come ask you to watch it on stream. Why? What's about to happen? I feel like there's going to be like, I feel like there's going to be some fucking crazy shit. Tony Montana called. He tweeted this before. What is it? Good morning. Happy to know you all. Bro, we don't care. Lower the camera. Jesus Christ, dude. Isn't the animalistic pattern on a male shirt the sign that the dude is a pimp? That's right. TikTok spreading vax misinformation. Oh, let's see what's going on now.
Crazy, and I can prove it. TikTok's algorithm is amplifying anti-vax content like crazy, and I can prove it. Me and my girl Olivia research.
Bro, what if fucking this is the actual way that... What if this is the actual way that China is like, dismantling America by way of TikTok? You know what I mean? They're like literally fucking breaking the brains of like the American youth with TikTok.
Disinformation on TikTok. So we reviewed and tracked videos delivered to our feed after engaging with anti-vax content. And here's just some of the misinformation that was fed to our For You page. The vaccines make you glow under a black light, 1.4 million views. Mass rapes with vaccinated, 2.1 million views. If you don't vaccinate your children, they'll be taken away from you, 3.9 million views. There are FEMA detention centers for the unvaccinated, 2.9 million views. The bodies of the dead vaccinated are being liquefied and used as fertilizer, 1.3 million views. The recent COVID surge is caused by vaccines, 12.6 million views. The thing is, these videos don't get that many likes compared to views. But likes don't matter for the TikTok algorithm, which prioritizes watch time. So TikTok can brand.
Dude, first the Dengists fucking defeated America by creating a vast labor pool using the fucking greedy capitalist profit motive against American labor by, making wages that are impossible to compete against. So much so that it's like literally cheaper to fucking outsource your labor to China and then ship it back to the States. Then America, of course, with going off that fucking greed, ended up dismantling any sort of labor protection. Labor unions are completely gone now, okay? There's no fucking There's no worker power to fight back against capital. And now they're fucking brainwashing the youth and the older population. You know, COVID happened and it was an accident. But the anti-vaxxer misinformation, what if they're doing it on purpose? What if they're just like fucking, letting the algorithm go
brag all they
crazy?
want about their partnership with the WHO to promote accurate information, but their algorithm continues to push fear-mongering videos full of lies because you...
All right, bro, we're waiting. What's up? There's not going to be like TOS shit in here, right? I'm worried. Do you think COVID is from a lab? No. I don't think I can listen to this song, dude. I'm going to get fucking DMCA'd by the label or something. TikTok's, this is not the song, chat. Chill. TikTok is, their algorithms are on fucking crack, dude. To you. Oh, never mind. You know what? This is a perfect opportunity to fucking run a 60-second ad break, okay? And if you want an ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, or you can use an ad blocker or a VPN because this is the top of the fucking hour. Here's the 60-second ad break. Now, it's never actually 60 seconds, so don't worry. Oh. Dave Portnoy wore it first? You think Dave Portnoy invented leopard print shirts, dude? Are you kidding me? Three, two, All right, let's get back to LSF. That was a wonderful. Song something about Destiny, because dude, why do you guys keep linking me this shit, dude? I'm not trying to fucking watch anything Destiny related. Please stop. Like, I don't care. We didn't watch JP yet. We will. Germa is having a mental breakdown.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
Is it actually him farting? No, right? I feel like this would get a lot after a while. Henry's favorite birthday. Who is Henry? Charlie's girlfriend STP during Skyrim marriage speedrun. What?
God, I am just a speedrunning master. Fuck. This is some greasy shit. Yeah. Can I bring you toilet paper? Babe, I am on world record pace right now. No, you are gonna have to have a shitty ass for now. I'm sorry. This is the God run, babe.
What the fuck?
You see, this is a sacrifice. This is what makes a real fucking speedrunner.
That's some real Sigma shit right there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Need to
That's
make
some
sure I get the
real
right
Sigma shit right there, dude. Yeah. Charlie, how the fuck do you not have a goddamn... How do you not have a fucking... Would you consider this a roast of you? What the fuck is this? What is this, dude? I don't like it. What is this? I hate it when you guys send me shit like this, because like... if it's like random, you're just like bringing up unwarranted hate on someone, you know what I mean? Stormfighter's hot and all, but I feel like he's insufferable IRL. Like I could only have segs with him. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't, but you know, because it's illegal. How is this TikTok content? Is a tweet over a video? Yeah, I think that's how. Why would you send that? Yeah, I don't understand why you. Sometimes you guys send like really weird shit. Okay. XQC gives an allegory of how to deal with things in life.
I'm not downplaying the fact that maybe your life has...
Dude, I always want to... There are readers who just look for your name everywhere so they can link it to you. I mean, I don't mind it. There's like good stuff on there sometimes. There's there's like funny shit in there every now and then.
Has permanent problems that cannot be dealt with, right? That will always be in the way, and that fucking sucks. Because what that does is that your backpack will always have stones at the bottom. Yeah, some you can remove them. Some are stuck there forever. Some problems are in your backpack, and they're weighing you down, right? And whatever height you reach, whatever places you go, whatever success you have, your backpack will never be empty. When you want to go forward and climb the mountain, you will...
Motherfucker talking about stones in his backpack when he's literally sitting on a chair that he stole from a fucking medieval feudal lord, dude. What is this chair, bro? Did he raid a medieval times? How does he sit on this for like 12 hours a day? It makes no time.
Still have rocks in your backpack, and that fucking sucks. That fucking sucks. But you know what that does, though? Is that whenever you reach the top or a certain level and you look around and other people are at that point of success or life, right? You can say, yo, dude, I got here and I'm here too. But my backpack is heavy as fuck. My backpack is full of stones. And I'm still here. And that builds character. And that's who the fuck you is. I'm not downplaying the fact that.
Pretty good. Not you class shaming? Yeah. Class shaming XT. Okay, let's watch Jordan Peterson.
Between 25 and 31 are 66% more likely than young women to be living with their parents. And more young men are living with a parent than with a partner.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, Jordan. Okay? What is this bullshit, Jordan Peterson? You fucking asshole.
Young men between 25 and 31 are 66% more likely than young women to be living with their parents. And more young men are living with a parent than with a partner.
Yes, and you don't find women looking for men that are living in their parents' basement.
That's kind of fucking, hey, how about fuck you? That's what I got for you, okay?
That's just a joke, which is why you could insert it there as a cliche. Everyone understands exactly what that means. It means failure to launch. It means Peter Pan, right? It's a joke.
And those guys are much more likely to turn to pornography because they sense they're being rejected by women, and then they turn to this beautiful woman that they can be turned on by. The challenge with pornography is that the more you get into it, the more you tend to be stimulated by more and more risky things. And
dude, what's really fucking stupid about these arguments is like, it literally is a crisis that has absolutely zero to do with pornography and like everything to do with the fact that like rent is unaffordable. How the fuck are young men like leaving their houses and like living in fucking cities and whatnot where they have all of the job opportunities after getting an education and getting saddled with like hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt from that college education? Like, these motherfuckers are like, oh, it must be the pornography that they're watching. It's like, because they can't get pussy because they live with their parents. I mean, I joke, like, yeah, I am very fortunate. I, moved my mom out here during COVID. Like, I get to be able to live with them. It's great, right? But for a lot of people, their situation is that they're in that situation because of their dire financial circumstances. So if you want men to fuck more, I guess, which they don't actually, they just want men to like be in relationships, like monogamous relationships. I watch and make porn like every day. I have a decent job, have my own apartment, get laid regularly. I'm not even that good looking. Porn has literally nothing to do with this problem. It's just like, why are you flexing in the chat? Oh, I make porn every day. Okay, we get it, dude. You fuck, okay? Sick. Porn advocators? I am a porn advocator. What are you, new here? Then there's also the cultural aspect of like, people wanting to take care of their parents or people wanting to like live with their family. That's like a totally normal thing. Maybe not in the Western world, I guess, but now it's becoming more of a thing in the Western world as well as a consequence of material conditions. But like, it's because of the situation that they're handed. There's nothing they can do about it. It's really dumb. It has nothing to do with porn.
more and more salacious things are
That's because novelty enhances pleasure. That's the addictive element of it.
precisely. And then the female who is interested in that guy and does come over to be with him physically, she often feels that this guy is more interested in something that happened in the pornographic things that he's been watching. She feels like an object because she is being treated like an object.
Yeah, dude. Objectification famously of women never existed before the invention of pornography. You guys know this, right? Like, there was no objectification of women prior to pornography. That was, I mean, famously, everybody knows this. So, only men watch porn, okay? So, because like girls obviously don't watch porn. Great take by the fucking, by the CEO of Porn Understanding, okay, Enterprise. Porn greatly reinforces it. No, I think that's fucking dumb. leaving proper education, like leaving sex education to pornography is idiotic, dude. It's like substituting mathematics for like Hollywood. You have to learn math from fucking watching the Transformers movies. What the fuck? If anything, it's a crisis of fucking good parenting and a crisis of public education. These people are so dumb. I get really fucking frustrated by people who literally reduce everything to like cultural analysis and how much culture is like dictating people's lives. When in fact, culture in and of itself is not upstream or not downstream, but upstream from fucking politics. Culture is built upon the material conditions, not the other way around. It might have, and in certain instances can change people's minds to a certain degree, but ultimately, the best way that you can possibly change a situation, especially one that requires systemic change, is by tackling the structures that reinforces these kinds of attitudes and ideas. These motherfuckers will turn around and like advocate for abstinence-only sex ed or no sex ed, and they turn around and they're like, "Oh my God, it's pornography that's like objectifying women." It's really fucking dumb. Also, for people who think that's like my take, it's not. I stole it. Gramsci. But still. Jordan Peterson has a nice tan, though.
Well, and also those are the men who aren't going to be particularly sophisticated in their treatment of women, because how can they be? They have no experience.
Precisely. And so the pornography ends up haunting them on multiple levels and leads them to often turn back to pornography to avoid continuing rejection, and only convinces them that a real life woman is somebody he would fail on one level or another with. So
they have no experience.
I will never understand why like young weirdos sit around and watch fucking Jordan Peterson like this. Like, sit around and watch this guy talk to another old guy about how, like, porn is bad and it's morally abhorrent and it's actually desecrating the brains of our youth. It's like, what? How is that even remotely interesting? They're basically just saying the same exact shit that your fucking grandparents said. They look like your grandparents. There's nothing new or unique in this commentary. And yet people look at this and go, "Pog, I'm pogging. I'm literally pogging right now. Jordan Peterson is my fucking intellectual father." Homies will literally be like, "Clean your fucking room." And everyone's like, "I would never do that if my parents would ask me to do so. But when Jordan does it, fuck yeah, I'm doing it, dude. It really changed my life. It greatly changed my perspective." It's like, dude, you're literally 22 years old. Like, chill. It's really, really, really silly. Anyway. This audio blow up on TikTok and it's from when you open my last P.O. Box package and I can't escape you? Wait, what? This audio... Is that what they teach you in college nowadays? I thought all they taught you was homosexual Marxism. Is that what they teach you in college nowadays? I thought all they taught you was homosexual Marxism. Dude, why are all of my fucking viral audios original sound hot girls watch Hasan? Why are all of my fucking audio clips that go viral on TikTok, they're like always me just like making fun of conservatives? You in college nowadays? I thought all they taught you was homosexual Marxism. Why is predominantly affecting young men, though, compared to women if it's socioeconomic? Well, first of all, that analysis is completely incorrect. It's just that if you are a backwards dildo like Jordan Peterson, you don't mind when women are fucking living at home with their parents. That's the difference. That's expected. Do you understand? So that's why he doesn't call into question women living at home with their parents, and he only talks about how it's a crisis for you know, men. That's natural. Do you understand? Women are supposed to stay home with their fathers and mothers. Stop biting your nails? I have not bit my nails since I got my nails done. It's kind of crazy, actually. Peterson fans love this guy. Most men cannot swallow this truth.
For regular guys, dating is a losing game. The odds are heavily stacked against you, and the longer you play this game, the more you feel like you're a loser. So when the game...
Bro, this motherfucker built a tent fort in his house, dude. I can't take you seriously when you build a tent fort in your house. I mean, it's kind of cool, but like I would do that, but if I were to fucking, you know, try to educate most men from my tent fort, everyone would be like, yeah, no, dude, like, you're in a fucking tent fort. Like, you know, go do a pillow fight.
game is so heavily rigged against you. How do you win? How do you win at the game of dating? Well, the only way to win is to not play that game. You want to save yourself?
Oh, dude, Sigma male.
Esteem. You want to feel good about yourself? You want to have a happy, fulfilling life?
Okay, I can't do this right now, though. I have to go. I have to go get my fucking back blown out by a physical therapist. So we'll save this for tomorrow, okay, boys? Here's a 3-minute ad break. I'm sorry. Why does he look like he is in terrorist base? I didn't say that. Okay, you said that. I'm sorry, but shave your neck, YouTube man. I mean, yeah, that too. Would you play the Ghost of Tsushima DLC on your $500 paperweight? Yeah. What kind of physical therapist works at 7 p.m.? I don't know. The good kind. The accommodating kind. Don't go to a chiropractor? No, I'm going to a literal fucking doctor, chat. What do you mean? You know what you know what my takes are on holistic medicine and stuff like that. I'm a firm believer in Western medicine all the way. You know, holistic medicine can have its uses, but I mean, I routinely shit on chiropractors. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do acupuncture, stuff like that. I don't fuck around with any of that. So anyway, folks, I love you all. Yeah, I'm gonna go to a chiropractor so he can tell me that you know, I shouldn't have taken the vaccine. That's why my back is fucked up. Many people are coming over, and we're hearing from a lot of patients that, you know, vaccines are causing severe lower back injuries. You know what I mean? Anyway, I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Okay? Same time, same place, same space. Hopefully I can make it to the fucking physical therapist. My shit is fucked up. Okay, but on that note, bye.
Review in the P.O. box, Uncle Euchre's face. Sudden discord agitprop. Grey names take on race. Tiny Bernie Sanders, LGBTQ Air Force. The whole left at your fingertips, and Anye out your door. The H3 Crowder debate, the Young Turks online show. 3 full fucking years of this, and plenty more to go. 90-day fiancé talks of champagne bourgeoisie. A Trump rally live reaction, a mass riot in DC. There he is again, Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming.